Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me now? Anybody home? Hi, hi, hi. Check, check, check. Check completed. The microphone is working, I hope. Give me some feedbacks about everything. The background music. The volume, everything. Are you guys there? Okay. Nice to see you guys. Much appreciated. Richard Kisembo. Hi, man. Yeah, I'm just one man. But yeah, I would take it. I'm one man representing many, many men. Hello, Mr. Richard. Richard is in the building. Where are you from, bro? Where are you watching us from? So, people, we have Champions League night. We have also Premier League night because Aston Villa to play against Liverpool. So that is the Premier League. So interesting games today or tonight, regardless. So yeah, a lot of games. Feel free to call us if you have time to do so. So we can have a conversation. The first game in the Premier League, in the Champions League, is 0-0 between Borussia Dortmund and Sporting Portugal. Champions League. So feel free to call us if you have time to do so. If you don't have time, no problem. Let me see. Twitter. So you have all the games that we're going to have tonight. Aston Villa, Liverpool, Dortmund, Sporting is happening now. PSG against Brest. PSV against Juventus. Real Madrid against City. That one is going to be a huge game. Huge one. City lost at home, but they can win away. On their day, they can beat anybody. This is still Manchester City and Pep Guardiola and Erling Haaland. So nothing is done yet. Never say never. The way actually Real Madrid won that game was weird. Like, if you look at it, Real Madrid didn't have their defenders. No recognizable or recognized defender. Rudiger, Alaba, Militao, all of them injured. They managed to cope and beat Manchester City. So today, at their own stadium, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to win that game and who is going through. All right. I'm checking. I'm watching from Virginia, USA, 7 hours away from your location. I'm your fellow Chelsea fan. All right. 7 to Virginia. Let me double check. Virginia. Kentucky to Virginia. It's gonna take me more than 7 hours. I drove one day from here to Washington, D.C. 7 hours under this kind of weather. It might take me probably 10 hours or so. Oh, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely spot on. It would take me 6 hours 51 minutes exactly to get to your state, but also depend on what the conditions are. Like weather now, it's snow everywhere. It's cold. And depend on how you drive. If you drive like a crazy man, this is under normal circumstances. Yeah, 7 hours is about right. So you spot on. 7 hours drive, man. You have to relax somewhere, buy gas, eat something, relax a little bit so you don't sleep on the wheel. All those little things might take you 8 to 9 hours to get there. But yeah, you were absolutely spot on. Correct. Okay, so interesting game between Aston Villa and Liverpool. Arsenal fans now are praying, begging for Unai Emery to do something. Una, please beat Onslaught, because if Villa win tonight, Arsenal are back officially on track. Arsenal could go and win the league. They are very, very lucky this season that, you know, Manchester City are not doing good, United not doing good, Chelsea crap. Tottenham Hotspurs nowhere to be seen. So many teams that could just push Arsenal a little bit. They just like open the door and the window and everything. Open the bar, go get whatever you want. So Arsenal, and every season I've seen this. It's just like déjà vu. It's over and over again where everything is open for them to win the league and they manage to bottle it. But tonight, I think Arsenal will be like, please, Unai Emery, give us some good evening. Good evening tonight. So if Villa beat Liverpool, they're going to be under pressure, and Arsenal could capitalize and win the league. So today is like a final for Liverpool. If they win today, it's a very, very strong statement to make. Very strong one. To be honest, also, I want Liverpool to win for many reasons. That is going to create a little bit of cushion between Aston Villa and Chelsea, because they are fighting for top 4. So if they drop point and they have to play against Chelsea on Saturday, after 3 days only, Chelsea might have a chance. But if they beat Liverpool tonight, oh Lord. All right. All right, sir. And PSG against Brest, that is going to be just like a formality, because PSG won in the first leg away 3-0. And Ousmane Dembele was on fire that day. Today again, he might be on fire. So goodbye, Brest. PSV against Juventus. Interesting game. Very, very interesting. We saw AC Milan last night. They They were out of the competition. Feyenoord beat them. Who would have thought Feyenoord could do damage on AC Milan? So you never know what could happen between Juventus and PSV. I'm very interested just to see how my boy Renato Vega is gonna play today. As a center back, that guy is a beast. He got that attitude, he got the passion, he got the shithousery, he got a little bit of character that you need in the team. And for Maresca to let that guy go, because probably he doesn't handle people with character. You need to leave some people who don't talk, who don't say anything. Lack of passion. Chelsea team are just like dead. You know? Like no leader. Nobody is yelling at nobody. They just put their hands up and complaining, but nobody is gonna go and tell somebody the truth. There are a bunch of good guys, good friends. I'm not gonna yell at my friends, but this is business, okay? For 90 minutes, you are like soldiers fighting for the flag. You can yell at each other, you can push each other, you can blame each other on that pitch. Nothing is personal. We just want to win. But Chelsea, they're so nice. Bunch of kids, cool guys. Nobody's talking to nobody. Richard said that title race is still tricky, but Arsenal is struggling with too many players injured. Am I supposed to feel sorry for Arsenal or what? I'm not feeling any sorry. Every team got injuries. Look at Manchester City. How many injuries they had, and Rodri could be out for the rest of the season, and that's why their season pretty much collapsed. Okay? You go to Tottenham Hotspurs, probably the worst injuries in the history of the club. Chelsea last season, 14 injuries. We were basically injury FC. Even this season, we still struggle. Fofana, Lavia, even Reece James. Now Nicholas Jackson, Mark Guillot, Fofana, I already said Fofana, Badiashile. The list goes on and on. Kellyman, since he joined Chelsea Football Club, have you seen him? No, injured since day one. So I'm not supposed to feel sorry for Arsenal and say, oh no, they have more than enough quality. They have Kai Havertz, who is injured. They have Gabriel Jesus, and they have Tamiyasu also. Apart from them, it been no more injuries. You are injured, 2 weeks out or 3. Yeah, Saka also. Saka is a big guy. But hey, every team got problems. When Chelsea were complaining about injuries last season, they say those are excuses. 14 injuries, bro. Oh no, you spent 1 billion. It doesn't count. Well, everybody's injured from that 1 billion. No, you have to find solution because you spent money. Makes no sense. But now, 1 injury, 2 injuries, and people are complaining and making it sound like they have the worst injuries ever. Nobody got more injuries than Chelsea in the last 5 years or so. Even back here with Roman Abramovich, you will find N'Golo Kante, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all the time. Always a lot of injuries. So injuries are part of the game. And if you struggle with injuries, you have to find solutions. Arsenal found solutions. The last game, they play Mikel Merino in front, and he scored 2 goals. So you have to find solutions. And Arsenal also have nobody to blame but themselves. They had a January transfer window to correct the issue, to help them. Go get some proven striker out there. There were so many of them on the market. Gyökeres got a release clause. Sesko, release clause. Boniface, he wanted to go to Saudi. So clearly he was on the market. So they didn't do anything in January, just like Chelsea. So you don't have to blame anybody. You have to deal with the situation now. So I don't want to give them any kind of excuse or feel sorry for them because they have injuries. Because nobody feels sorry for Chelsea when we struggle with injuries. It's the same stupid narrative all the time. Oh, you have money. You spent 1 billion. All right. You can spend 1 billion on 25 players. What if everybody is injured in that team? No, you have to just find solution because you have 1,000 players. Well, hello. In the Premier League, you can only register 25 players. Even if you have 1,000 players, there are players that need to be registered. If they are not registered, you have to wait until summer to register them. So legally, they can't play. Oh no, you spend 1 billion. You have 1,000 players. Like, I don't know if people do it on purpose or they are just ignorant to understand that every team got the same amount of players. No matter how many players you buy, you can only register 25 players. Is that clear to anybody? So nobody got more players than others. We are all the same. We all have the same. Hello, do your homework, please. Okay, so PSV against Juventus. I just want to see Juventus through because I want to follow up with Renato Vega. Juventus will win and will go through the next round in my opinion. Real Madrid against Manchester City. That one is going to be very interesting. It could go both ways. City have nothing to lose. They're going to go for it. And Real Madrid, Ancelotti knows how to play these big games, man. This is for me the best manager in the world because regardless of the players that you're going to give Ancelotti, he doesn't care about buying players. You give him the players, he's going to find a way. He's going to improve them. A few years ago, Vinicius Jr. was absolutely crap. Benzema actually said, I don't want to play with this guy. This brother is playing against us. Don't pass the ball to him. He was horrible. Ancelotti came and transformed this guy, Vinicius Jr., took his game to the next level, trusting youngsters, playing them from positions they feel more comfortable in a system that can fit everybody. So Ancelotti is very, very flexible compared to people like Pep Guardiola or Enzo Maresca, where they have like one-dimensional kind of football. When the plan A is not working, they continue with the plan A, and they continue with the plan A. They do the same over and over again, and that becomes insanity, right? So if you have somebody like Ancelotti will find a way, no matter how many injuries he has, even with no defenders, no midfielders, he always find a way to set up the team correctly. When you go to Mark's brother, Mr. Maresca, he only knows how to play one way. And that one way is inverting people in the midfield. You have to play 1,000 positions at the same time. Your fullbacks are playing as a number 9. Your number 9 is playing as a number 6. It's just shambolic, boring, stupid tiki-taka that makes no sense. If it works, he's a genius. If it's not working, why do you continue to do the same thing? So, So, Mr. Richard, thank you for your participation. Now, let's go and listen from Mark.
Big ups, Oz, and big ups to all the listeners right now. I
Yes,
have
sir.
some few minutes that I would like to spend with you, but I'll continue to monitor the show.
Yes,
If you are going
sir.
to be here a little bit longer, then after I close from work, I will rejoin. First of all, let me talk about Adimola
Look,
Lookman.
man.
Uh,
Yeah.
the situation pisses me off a little bit, and I feel like sometimes I know you don't like this, and I'm not a prejudiced, and I don't condone any such behavior. But I feel like sometimes it's the behavior of the Italian coaches, and I can cite about Baba Rahman and Conte when they were here, and behind the scenes situations. It got to a time Mikel Obi had to ask Baba Rahman, "What have you at all done to this man?" And it seems he always single out Baba Rahman for that. Maresca recently did the same thing with Madueke, and I hope a lot of Chelsea supporters didn't like it. And this is Lukman's turn, and I feel like the man wasn't fair to him. Looking at the way this guy helped the club last season, to the extent that he was crowned as the best African player, and he was even vying for the Ballon d'Or, if I'm not mistaken. And if you have to single out a player like that openly, I still believe it's totally wrong, and he should have done it in a best way. The best thing you could have done was to call the guy after the game, call him to your office, talk to him, try to help him. That is why you are a manager. You manage the players physically, psychologically, and spiritually. You need to assist them all the time. You don't have to be the one who will become like a cancer in their career, to the extent that they wouldn't like to play for you anymore. Although he might like the football club, but the behavior you are putting up is going to be a turn off, and this guy will never be the same. I still think that he has to raise his head high, and be proud of what he has done. He shouldn't let the coaches' words discourage him. If he wants to opt out, he has every right to talk to his
But by
agents
the way,
and look for.
Fabrizio Romano just confirmed a few minutes ago that he's living in Summer. That is confirmed 100%.
Okay, so from now till summer, whatever he can do, he has to act professionally. And if the man is not going to use him, he can force his way out and start looking for a new club, because enough of that disrespect. If you are a manager and there is something going wrong, you don't single out a single player, then criticize that person. It's totally wrong, and nobody should condone that. Also, I would like to talk about Chelsea, the situation we have right now, and I believe that everyone is concerned, especially with the back-to-back defeat we faced against Brighton. That was totally unacceptable. And I will continue to say this as a super fan of Chelsea Football Club. And I believe if you're a Chelsea fan and you feel like people shouldn't voice out for any wrongdoing, then you are not doing any good services, or you are doing the services for this football club. We all want our football club to rediscover what we used to be. We know the standard was up here, but now if you look at our standards right now, it is nothing to write home about. And if you are a Chelsea fan and you don't feel any concern about this situation, then I don't know the world you live in. We don't want to. I wouldn't say we. I wouldn't want to come here all the time trying to criticize the owners for whatever is going on with the football club. It's something they need to figure it out. We are customers. You understand? Or should I say the football club belongs to us? And if you are an intruder, or you are somebody who is coming to take over, we expect you to do something extraordinary from what others have done. When Chelsea Football Club wasn't even up to that standard, we were winning games. It was quite decent. But for now, it seems everything is going down. I will also talk about the injury situation. I don't know how we are going to look when everyone is here, but right now, the way things are going, I feel like we all have to come together. And if there is some drastic measures that we have to take, everyone has to be on board. We don't want a divisive fans going into any maybe demonstration or saying some owners have to leave the football club. If we all have to come together, we all have to come together, and the right people will come and take the football club. Because day in and day out, it's been almost 3 years and we are still stagnant. And right now, what even scares me is we are declining as the league is about to wrap up. I don't know where we are going to end up. And if you think we have enough points or we've accumulated a lot of points and we are not at risk, then you must be out of your mind. If we should lose some games right now, we are going to find ourselves down there. You understand? We might not go to relegation, but what is the point for us to be placing bad positions here every now and then? Since the time these guys took over, we are not seeing any progress. If you're a Chelsea fan, tell me what we've achieved so far. Where are we going? What is our identity? Other than buying young players, thinking that these players will be good in the near future, it is a risk that we are taking. If it becomes successful, fine. Thanks be to God. But right now, you can never determine a young player as the player is growing up. There have been so many times there were so many young, talented players out there. But if you are
The
looking for
model
them
need
right
to
now,
change for sure. We have to focus on the present and also the future. Like, I'm not against buying young players, talented around the world, but focusing only on young players is gonna kill our present and also our future, because if the present is broken, you don't have a future. So the model need to change, and I encourage even Mr. Andrew, who is in London. Are you going to protest, brother?
Good evening, gentlemen. Well, it's
Yes,
evening
sir.
here. I hope everybody, all the distinguished gentlemen, are fine and well.
Yes.
I would have liked to have gone next week, but I'm afraid I've got work commitments. I'm able to get out. But
Okay.
however, I'm sure this won't be the only one. So at least I'll be able to go at least to whether the next one or the one after that, because they're going to need to continue to do this. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
most definitely, I want to be a part of that. I just want to jump on because I'm not staying on too long. I think, in my opinion, that they have this all programmed and planned out. They're probably aware that they know that, from what I understand, they monitor a lot of the channels. So they're fully aware of how disgruntled the supporters are. These messages that are coming out on Twitter about, what are we protesting about, and we need to decide what we want to protest about. Who's to say it's not their own people doing this rubbish to try to discourage us? Now, I'd go as far to even think that, with this planning, because look how they've already divided us. Sorry, can I let somebody else speak? Somebody's called the buzzer.
Yeah, you have to pick up the phone first. Yeah, Mark, you can continue. Do you think the protest is a good thing or bad thing?
well, let me just wrap up so that Andrew will hang up with you. Sorry.
Sure,
Hang up
no
with
problem.
you. So
People
what
are
I was
walking
saying
now.
is,
Yeah.
what I was saying is, I can cite so many examples. Bojan Kerkic, there was a player called Crisanto from Nigeria. He was the best thing ever, but we can't find those players. Wilson Oruma against Kanu. Kanu was somehow good, but Wilson Oruma was somebody who was the star of that tournament. I can talk of Ghana's Dominic Adia. He was the best player in the under-20 tournament back in 2009. I can cite Abuaji, another player called Abuaji, Clifford Abuaji. He was one of the best players in one of the tournaments back in, I think, 2013 or so. But Pogba, outshined that guy. So when a player is so young, sometimes they look so good, but their development is very important. If you're unable to help them out, or if you don't get the right person to guide them, it's obviously they are not going to make it up there. They are not going to turn superstars. I bet you if Cristiano Ronaldo had not met Sir Alex Ferguson, he wouldn't have been the Cristiano Ronaldo we all know right now. But he was so lucky. They saw the talent in him. He was adopted by Sir Alex Ferguson, and he became one of the greatest football players ever. I can also talk about Lionel Messi. If Messi had not been in the right system and play around experienced players like Ronaldinho's and Iniesta's and all those guys, he wouldn't have been Lionel Messi. So we have to be very careful. These owners, I'm telling you, I like Chelsea Football Club, and it's everything that means to me. And I don't hate them, but I hate the way they are running the football club. If they are willing to change, we are all in it. We are going to be on board. But if they continue to do this, then I'm sorry. Somebody like me, you cannot convince me with this type of scam. So they need to set up within the shortest time. They have to prove to everybody that they are willing to change. If they can turn things around before the season ends, then it's okay. But if it continues to get bad, then I'm sorry. By the close of this summer, they need to pack their things and leave the F off of this football club and come back to Los Angeles and continue to run their, baseball team. But if they are able to change, we are all going to support them, because
what kind of change are you suggesting from them?
What
they can do like now?
First of all, I expect them, if they think Maresca is the right person, they need to let him be his own man. Maresca needs to decide which player he wants to work with and which player he doesn't want. I don't want the sporting directors to be so restrictive. They should let Maresca be his own man. Secondly, they need to tweak the transfer policy, because if you have a transfer policy where you are so restricted to buy certain players, I feel like you are not trying to help a football club like Chelsea. So if they have to amend the transfer policy and make sure that they can just bring in some experienced players to blend with these younger folks, it will help. And also the way, how do I call it? They are not willing to spend a lot of money. Since we have the money, I feel like it's so going to weaken our side. At least you can up the money a little bit, but not too much. And you don't have to also buy when we don't need it. You understand? Because there are so many situations where they've misplaced their priorities, which to me is rather unfortunate. Because right now we are going to go in every game without a striker. And to Maresca, I feel like he also have to do a lot of changes to himself. If you look at somebody like Torsten Adebayo, you can decide to all of a sudden change him to be a striker. Look at the way this guy is built. He's careful. Maybe you can give him a new role, and he can even discover a new talent he doesn't even know as a player. I wouldn't mind putting him as a striker. You understand? You can even look at this guy, the one who plays normally with James, this
Malo.
French boy.
Malo Gusto.
Malo Gusto. This guy looks like very skillful. Sometimes he's very good on the ball. So you can even say, hey, I want you to be in the center of the field. I want you to play Cole Palmer's position, and let me see something. Probably he could do it better than.
Yeah, he's inverting. The problem with Gusto is when he inverts, he's confused. He's mostly in the midfield.
He doesn't necessarily have to invert from.
What you're saying is he can start in the midfield and build up instead of inverting from the fullback position, which also confusing him and leaving that place open for opposition team to exploit behind.
Yeah, exactly. So, you can put him in there. You can play him and James at the same time, but he will take Cole Palmer's position. Just give a try with some of this lesser team, because this guy is somebody who can sometimes even minimize the the threat coming from our opponent, because he knows how to dribble, he knows how to take on players. So you put him in that center role, and he will bring in some defensive, flair into his game. So sometimes Maresca needs to also try and do something.
You need to be flexible and see what is working,
exactly. I don't think
instead of like being one-dimensional and my way or highway. I think that is a very good message. Andrew said that he's at work, so he need to finish his thing very quickly and move. Are you back, bro?
Yeah. It's not work.
So I would say big up to all of you. I will join you guys later on. I'll continue to listen
no
to
problem,
you
no problem. I'll be here for a little while. Don't worry.
Sure. Thank you.
God bless. Yes, Mr. Andrew, let's go.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the problem is far larger than it comes to football. As far as how I see it, the structure is not there, and if the structure is not there, if the foundation is not there, the structure is going to collapse, and this is what we're witnessing at the moment. I mean, it was never really conducive for football, in my opinion, and the way how, from what I'm understanding, some reports have come out now by various people such as yourself that when Roman Abramovich first left the club was debt-free, and now it appears as though the club is now in debt because the money that they've used to purchase these players up as borrowed money, and it's been borrowed from a number of banks over in your neck of the woods there, as well as some other companies as well. So from what I understand, it's up to $7 or $800 million. So they haven't come with this intention. This is anecdotal, so this is based from how I see it. They haven't come with that intention in order to build a winning club. It's simply as a feeder club, as a means to make and generate money. Now, when you're building something without that footballing structure, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter who we bring in, what players, it's never going to work, because it just seems like it's just a collage, different pieces of paper trying to make up a picture. But when you look at it, it's just a big mess. This is how I see it right now. If you look at clubs like Manchester City and even Liverpool, they try to do a model, but that model that they have promotes football. If you look at it as well, sorry, I don't want to rabble on too much. If you look at it, remember we were trying to get this Michael Edwards. And
their sporting director.
Their sporting director, after he took a sabbatical from Liverpool. Where did he go? Straight back to Liverpool after he finished, because he was well aware that this structure that they're trying to build and try to do is never going to work. And look at what they're doing now. They're trying to adopt a similar plan, but promoting football at the same time. And they're bringing in youngsters. They're slowly bringing them in. Good players as well. These are not rubbish. These are guys who have directly slotted into the team. They've learned from the experienced players there. So when those experienced players are later, when they leave, they're there and they're ready.
They have a replacement already.
They have a replacement already. Same with, look at these, was it 2 or 3 players that Manchester City bought? And they've slotted right. You would never have known that these are new players that they just bought in the transfer window.
That's
it's
correct.
Just seamless transition. So how I see it, it's far larger than tactics or the manager, or because as far as I'm concerned, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. I can't see anything changing. So I'll let somebody else speak.
I respect your opinion. Le Français Dave, and then we're gonna Cesar. Wait a little bit. Let's greet somebody who came first, and then we're gonna go to you because you're gonna talk about Club Brugge. Bruges. They are qualified now. They beat Atalanta yesterday, and I didn't like Atalanta manager came out to really sabotage everything. Lookman has done to that club, but we have time to talk about that. Le Français Dev.
Yes, hello, Mr.
Hello,
O.
hello.
Hello
Yes,
to
sir.
everyone. Hope everyone is doing well.
Yes, sir.
How do I even start? I don't know if I should start with the topic or the subject, or do you
Go
have
on,
to
bro. Go
introduce?
on. Whatever comes through your mind, you have to
Yes.
speak about.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah, I think I might have lost connection. It's back, isn't it?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear
Yes,
you. Are you there?
I've been listening to what Mr. Andrew and the
Mark.
other guy before had to say, and I agree on everything that is mentioned. But I'll also add into that. I think we are, as the fans, we are looking a little bit too deep with the owners, because just 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we had nobody to buy the football club. Now, I'm not saying that means that it's acceptable what we got going on. I'm not saying that, but what I'm basically saying is, at the beginning of the season when we were picking up points, nobody brought up the owners' names. Everybody was focused on Maresca's job. Now, all of a sudden, when we started losing points, I do not know how did we get here, but we are focusing now on the owners because the owners are the one who came up with this project. What my point here is that, like, if we should lift the trophies with this project, it's genius. But if we should lose, it's on the owners. We are looking too deep into the owners. Let's focus on the coach. Yes, it's true, he might not have the players, but if we should just buy the type of players that he wants and we still end up not lifting the trophy, you guys need to understand that's going to be waste of money. You see, it's going to be waste of money. So I will agree that yes, we need to add mature players into the squad, but also Maresca, since December, it's like since we lost to Everton, it was not hard to see it, but you could see like there's a structure change. There's something that just changed all of a sudden. Something that looked like he personally made out of his choice. Like, look, I'm gonna do this, so maybe on the window transfer I could get some players. And then now he's struggling to catch back points. So I will also blame Maresca into these points that we are losing left and right, because the guy is not changing or putting the best squad to fit certain teams that we are playing like he used to before.
That is a very good point, because now everybody is focused on the owners need
on
to
the
go.
Owners. Right.
The structure is bad, it starts by the head and all that, but ask yourself a question: can we still get something out of this team if you have Ancelotti, for example, or if you use traditional 4-3-3 and you play your fullbacks normally and your wingers normally without complicating this? Can you still get something? Can you get something from Joao Felix? Can you get something from Renato Vega or Ben Chilwell? And when you start putting those together, you see that it's not only about the owners or the sporting directors, but Maresca is a big part of the issues that we have. But people want to just focus on get them out. Nothing is going to change even if we change a manager. But I think you make the very good point. Nobody mentioned the owners and the sporting directors. They were praised. We were praising them. The project is good because we were winning, because Maresca was tactically sound. He was a genius back then. Nobody cares. Now that we are losing, all of a sudden, it's the owner. So
everybody's forgetting it's Maresca.
You have to be honest. I've been saying this for weeks. I got even a big fight on social media because you can't blame the manager. He's gonna stay the same even if you change somebody. I mean, we have
Mr. Oaks, it's because they're in love with the Pep Guardiola boy head he has also. Maybe they look the same. Maybe they're in love with that, and then they believe that he's a great manager. He is, but he's been very stubborn. If Mauricio Pochettino was picking up points just by changing one structure, by inverting Cucurella, then so can Maresca. So can he do it too? We were picking up points. We saw the combination of Madueke and Kopama last season. It was clicking. We all expected that like the next season, all we have to do is jail and add something into it. And then before you know it, we've taken it to the next level. And yes, that's where the owner did have to take that mistake from. Because instead of us to continue where we left, it's like we took a step backward, change another structure, and change another ways of playing. And now you can see that Cole Palmer's points and abilities is dropping lower and lower. And as for Madueke, he's gone actually totally down. You see? So we have to look at Maresca and question why is he
probably you are
making
the
things
only
difficult.
guy that like kind of agree with me, because I've been in big fights. People try to beat me everywhere because I don't know anything about football. It's not gonna change anything, even if you change the manager, if the owners are still dead, and it's
one
not
more
gonna
thing,
change
Mr. Oz.
anything. But
One more thing, right?
yes,
We barely even see our players these days be creative and take on a player. We've seen that before. Who was it under? Was it Tuchel or was it under a different manager where everything is just so structural? Pass. Yes, it's true that our winger do get caught up with a 2v1, but what has our manager Maresca done about that? He's not letting the right back or left back invert.
Yeah.
Instead, he's chosen the most difficult way to break down a defensive line, which is to tell them to invert in. Why you inverted in when a winger is having 3v1?
It just don't work. It makes no sense, but it makes sense in his head apparently. Caesar, what do you have to say, brother?
Let's go.
Let's go. Yes. So yesterday, congratulations because you beat Atalanta. You support Club Brugge. So you are through the next round of the Champions League. Good for you.
Let's go. Oh my. Did you watch the game yesterday?
I watched the second half, probably the last 35 minutes because I was at work. So I didn't have time to watch the entire thing. But after that, I went to watch like extended highlight just to have an idea what happened.
Yes. So, after 2 minutes, Taubi or Wonderkid scored the 1-0. Then Taubi again. And then Espanyol, Barcelona, youth player, Ferran Jugla, bang! Oh my God. And then Olamola Lookman. Oh.
Well, Lookman been scapegoated for no reason because they were losing already heavily. He scored 1 goal already in the open play. And then a penalty, you can miss a penalty. Anybody can miss a penalty. And he missed that penalty. It doesn't mean that they were going to win because they were losing 3-0 already. So the penalty doesn't mean necessarily they were going to win the game. So I think the manager coming out to say, oh, he's the worst penalty taker I've never seen, blah, blah, blah, and blame everything on him, it's not fair. Lookman is the guy, the reason why they won the Europa League last season. And if they've been doing very good in the last couple of years in the Serie A because of Lookman. So you don't come out and talk crap about your best player. I'm not happy about it. And he's leaving them. Come back to England or something. Let me say hi to another brother. Chelsea for life.
How are you?
Good, sir.
How's everything?
My club is not doing good at the moment, so yeah.
I know we're not doing so well. We all not doing great. But if I give my opinion here, earlier you guys talking about the coach problem. I know you guys blaming on coach.
Not
but
necessarily.
Me,
let me make clear. Like, it's a package. It's everybody from the owners to the sporting director to the coaching level, because you can't.
Yes.
He's not. If the coach is not using Joao Felix, it has nothing to do with the owners and the sporting directors. He's still a quality player that you can get something out of, right? Joao Felix, just one example. Yeah, you can continue now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll blame on the owners, because of back in the day, we were a team that depended on trophies. If you come to this club and you're the manager, you gotta give us a trophy. And we used to win trophy. Every manager come winning trophy. First season, winning something. FA, Premier League, something. Champions League. But nowadays, the owners telling the coach, you got a time, you don't have to worry about winning any trophy. Just work on these players and get better team. To be honest, if the owners was pushing the coach and say, hey, listen, we need a trophy. If you don't bring us any trophy, then you got to go. Like, Abramovich used to do this. And every coach was scared and has to win. Like earlier, you posted a picture saying, how many coaches that arrived Chelsea, and each one has the most winning. Arnold Slot was second, right? Mourinho was first. You see those? Every time they come in, they're winning, and we're winning something. We're winning trophy every season. We're winning something. If we don't win Premier League, we're winning FA. We win something. But now the owners are not pressing on the coaches and let them slide and having fun. And the coach he's saying, even Fabrizio Romano is saying that he's not in trouble. You see this? He's not in trouble. Now he knows he can do whatever. He can stay there 2-3 seasons and not winning any trophy, and he's okay. So if the owners are not pressing to the coach will relax and feel relaxed and don't care if he lose or not, will have fun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the problem is the owners not pressing these coaches, not telling, hey, your job is a jeopardy. If you're not going to win any trophy, you got to get out of here. We're going to bring a coach who's winning mentality, winning trophies. This guy, he's a good coach. He
I need
won
to
with
agree when
Man
you're
City.
done.
Okay, he win with the trophies with Man City. He wins trophy with Leicester. He got pressed.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is
Manchester City Academy, you mean? Yeah. And
yes.
Leicester City
So,
in the championship. Yeah.
he's a good coach, but you got to press it. Okay, go ahead. I'll stop right there.
Yeah, I respect your point. Let's just say hi to Aziz, and then we're going to go back to Lefonse Dev to answer. Aziz.
Hello, how y'all doing? How you doing?
Yeah, we are just living, surviving day by day.
I see you guys are still talking about Chelsea. But what I want to tell you all, I'm happy for one thing. I said something last week. I said we're going to revolt. I don't know, maybe the fans saw my video from your previous distance.
Probably. It's part of...
you were telling me, no. I said we're going to revolt. I said it's just going to spark one person. It's just going to spark a change. And I was waiting for that change. And the revolt is going to happen this weekend. I'm waiting for it.
Not this weekend.
I want to see it. I want to let them.
This weekend is going to be a away game, so we can't protest.
I don't care.
It's going to be next week.
Yeah, I don't even care. I just want them to tear that. I want them to tear that board down. And the mentality of the coach. When you bring in a losing mentality to a team that is always winning stuff, what do you expect? When you bring an average coach that only knows one way of playing, what do you expect? When you have those two D and D, what's their name? Those idiots. I can't remember their name. And Does.
Lawrence Stewart and Wayne Stanley. Yeah.
When you have those two idiots that see Sanchez as the best goalkeeper in the world, I know we are in problem. When I've said this project you are trying to do with kids is not working. It's either you can buy kids and put experienced player with them. That's the only way it's going to work. That is the way Madrid did it. That was the way Abramovich did it. That was the way Sir Ferguson did it. If you want to win something, you win it with his combination. You don't win with kids. Ask Wenger for a question. Did he ever win with kids? No. He had to bring in experienced players to come help him win FA Cups. When he started that kid buying 17 years old, 18 years old, They were not winning. They were only getting top 4.
Even
You
top
feel
4
me?
now is in the danger, though.
So, like I said, I'm you know what's so funny? This is the first time I've not been able to, when we lost on Friday, I wasn't angry. I just is what it is because me putting
just
in
accepted
my
the
emotions,
fact.
me putting on my emotions with this useless team and this useless this thing. I don't give a F about them. They don't care about us. If I was the fans, I'll rather all of them not even go watch the game, so we can burn them in their pockets. When fans stop going to a game, they will know how we are feeling. They are taking us for granted because they know they're going to make their money. The fans are going to come. When the fans stop coming, when the stadium is empty, they will know how we feel.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm waiting for.
I respect that, my brother. I respect
And
that.
To the people that said I caused Nicholas Jackson to have injury, I don't even care if he's injured. The whole season, I don't even care no more. I just want this season to be over. Scrap this whole
You
season.
curse him live on television.
I'm
That's
done.
why he's injured.
Okay, no.
Mr.
Because me watching Nicholas Jackson every day, I can break a TV. So I just don't want to see. I don't want to see that. But
let's greet Mr. Peoples and we're gonna go around. Mr. People.
Good evening to the distinguished panel.
Good morning,
good evening,
Mr. Republic.
I can see my brother, Mr. Dr. Aziz there, and Le Français Dave. Wow, this has been a long time since I heard his voice. So I'm very privileged.
I'm happy to hear you too, man.
Yeah, but hey, I have some issues here. I think we Chelsea fans, we're living in the past. We Chelsea fans are entitled. We think we should win. We used to win trophies. Blah blah blah. We're living in the past, and we have forgotten what year it is, what's going on around you. All these other teams have upgraded. All these other teams have financial clout, even more than Chelsea. They can even spend more than Chelsea. All these teams have upgraded their training techniques, their managers, what have you, their squads and all that. So who are we, Chelsea? We can't just come there, demand, say, we must be a top 4 team. No. Have a look at all the other teams. Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa. What have all these teams? They've upgraded. They're playing cohesive football. And they haven't like built a brand new squad full of 18-year-olds or what have you. We at Chelsea, I said this before, you laughed at me about a year ago. I said, this Chelsea team, we need experience. We need, and most importantly, you need an enforcer. Roy Keane type, Patrick Vieira, that dog, that asshole in that team who, when the team, like right now, are not performing, their heads are down, they lost the belief. You need that dog. You need that guy who is going to embarrass you in the field.
Your backside, yeah.
Exactly. Who is that guy in that Chelsea team? I don't see him. I don't see him. As much as I love Caicedo, he's a quiet guy. James Rees, our captain, I don't even hear him speaking. I don't know if he's the captain.
What can he say? He's always on the bench. Or in the hospital.
We have a captain who can't speak English, the vice captain. What's it called? This guy,
Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo. I don't understand that either. Then we have a player like Chalobah who spends most of his time on his backside. Why is he playing? Why did they bring him back? You know, he was sent on loan for a reason because he wasn't good enough. But then you bring him back, makes no sense. He was good at Crystal Palace, and then he suddenly came back. And his levels, the performance levels dropped drastically.
So let me just tell you something about Chalobah. The entire team pretty much right now, the structure is so bad. Like if the house doesn't have a good foundation, you can build how many stories you want. It's going to collapse one day. Tell me one player that has improved under Enzo Maresca or in the last 3 months since Christmas Day. You see Kukureya is playing in more advanced position than Nkunku. Nkunku literally his starting position is in the number 6. Kukureya just because he's all over the place like a headless chicken, a lot of energy. You can see his hair flipping everywhere. That's why you think that he's doing something. because the hair is so
It's
big.
just speed.
The hair, the speed, just make it spectacular. But if you go to details, it's like nothing. And you look at Malo Gusto, he found himself in number 10 position all the time, in more advanced position than bloody Cole Palmer. So you ask yourself, what are we doing? What system are we playing? What are we trying to do when your attackers that's supposed to be save energy in the last third and think clearly about scoring goals, they have to go back then and find their own food when they get to the box, the opposition box, and they're already tired. So the entire structure at Chelsea, saying that Chalobah is this and that, I never say that he's world class or anything. He's just a solid player. But when the structure is all over the place, where is the midfield? Where is Caicedo? Where is Caicedo and Enzo?
That system he's playing is high risk football. High line pressing up the field. So of course, if you want to play that high riskical football, there were so many attacking players. The moment you lose that ball, I've said it long before. Long ball, Chelsea's exposed. Colwell is not good enough.
Because everybody is out of position because your fullbacks already are in the number 10 position. So your line back, your back four already.
But that's the style. That's the style he's chosen to play. It's high risk football.
That's why I say you don't have to blame only the players, because the players found in no man's land. Everybody studied us, know exactly how to exploit Chalobah. You're talking about Chalobah for backside and whatever, but when he started,
four games in a row.
Listen, and last season
and Colwell as well.
Even Colwell, when the structure, when people didn't understand our structure, everything was working. Now we got found out. Tell me one player that is not awful in that team. So you're going to focus on Chalobah to make your point. You haven't even mentioned Enzo Fernandez. Because if we get there, don't go there.
He's the captain. Leave him alone.
No, let me tell you something.
You've got to focus on your friend Nkunku, your friend Pedro Neto. Those other ones. Where have they gone? They've become passengers in this team.
The problem we have in this community is you push all those names so we don't mention Enzo Fernandez. Technically, he's a midfielder. What a midfielder supposed to do?
Mr. Owens, you push Enzo Fernandez. Sorry to cut you off. You push Enzo Fernandez. What about the other 9? What about the other 10 players? Was it Enzo Fernandez I said the goalkeepers to be useless? Was it Enzo Fernandez I said that Colwell shouldn't know how to defend? Colwell has been poor this season.
Thank you.
So a wise manager once said,
let me say this last point.
Go ahead.
You leave only Moses Caicedo in the back. You told Enzo Fernandez to push forward. Only him can do everything. Now, they are putting the blame on Moses Caicedo. What about the useless baldy coach we have? That stupid Italian coach we have.
Me and you, we agree. That's what I said.
We're on the same page.
The structure is starting from the manager that everybody looks awful. The same players under a good structure, good strategy, there will be solid players. But people are just pointing fingers to make their cases because of the players that they don't like. You can look like a Sunday league. Look at even Rudiger. When he was under Mauricio Sarri, Frank Lampard or whatever, awful. Thomas Tuchel came 3 at the back, very solid, very, very easy structure to understand. You know your work. Now everybody, you have to be the so-called Swiss Army knife, where you have to be good at everything and not very good at anything. You become just a general guy, a handyman who can fix the faucet, can fix whatever, put some screws here, and you are not like a specialist who will come and fix an air conditioning because all you know is just those little things here. So we struggle now that we don't play people from their position of strength. Look how we killed Reece James. Reece James is play him up and down, let him go cook, cross the ball. That's what he does for living. So when the entire structure is bad,
and that is why he's always injured. The way you want him to play is the reason why he's always injured.
You like to jump to to add too many topics. Let's focus on now.
No, you said Reece James. You said you complain that he's always injured, but yet you want him to play like a horse.
I am giving a general statement. Let me finish this, because you're going to jump to that, and that is going to be another topic of injuries. I'm talking about position of strength. We know he can't stay fit because apparently up and down making him injured. But this season also, he didn't do up and down, and he was out for like 3 or whatever month. So Reece James injuries is more than just up and down. The problem I'm trying to say here, if you know that People's Republic is a specialist on heart surgery and you want him to go and do the nurse job or whatever, probably that is not his level anymore. That you tell him to go operate somebody in his head.
Excellent point.
Okay, you are excellent at what you do. Why are you forcing me to do something and learn something on the job where I can do this 1,000 times better? So that is the problem. Let's focus on one point.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Oaks?
Yes.
No, I know it's very easy to sit here, throw stones when we live in a glass house. So I want to ask you, in your mind, because everything is sort of like ground to a halt, what needs to be done? What system should they play? And who would you think should be playing in that system?
Let's go and go to Mr. Chelsea FC for life. Answer that question so I don't have to talk too much myself. Let's just share views from other people. Yeah. Chelsea for life.
Yeah. The system and all that, like I said earlier, and all you guys saying, the coach, yes, coach is the fault. Okay. But here, the big bosses should talk to the coach, pressure him, say, hey, you got to give us a trophy. You got to do something.
Yeah, but
this team is going down.
The team. How do you want the team to play? Which system? Which players do you want to play in your ideal formation?
I want 4-4-2. 4-4-2. And which players? 4-4-2. Yes. And this 3, this 4, this here, it doesn't work. Every day system change. 4-4-2, the way we used to play. 2 up front, 2 wingers, 2 midfield, 4 defend.
So who be your starting lineup then in 4-4-2?
First of all, defenders all not good, rubbish. Except it's rubbish. All the defenders are rubbish. Okay. If you want to bring in new defenders, cool. But I don't like all the defenders except maybe Kukurea, if you would say number 3, and Malagusto or Reece James, cool. But the central defense, no good. I don't know which one should play. All of them are rubbish. The midfield is good. Caicedo and Enzo, good. Stay there. The 2 wingers, I want to... the left side, if we keep the Sancho, the right side, maybe Madueke or... Right side, I don't think the right side we have a good... right side can come down and up and down. He needs to help. Right side needs help. It's the right defender, but they don't come down. That's the problem. Up front, we don't have a striker. We need an experienced striker. We need a striker that can fight with these defenders. A good striker, strong. Maybe we need to get this Nigerian striker. What's his name? Osimhen.
No, but right now, as we speak, the players we have available. Never mind with future. Right here, right now, we're in crisis mode.
The one we're available. So our striker is injured now. Maybe we use the Mark Gay or something like that.
He's playing for Chelsea?
Mark Gay?
Mark Guiu is injured.
Injury? Okay. I don't know. We don't have a striker, so I'll leave it Nkunku up there. And then number 10, put it. We have, Palmer.
So the Nkunku will be the target man and Palmer will be playing off him when you're playing 4-4-2.
Yes.
And that's what I talk about. Listen, you can put whatever system you want forward, back.
I can think the system for you, whereby Chelsea will take control of the game and we win the game. Why don't you play 4-3-3?
Okay.
Whereby you have, whereby I don't even care who plays in the defense because all of them are shit. The 4-3-3, whoever you have, it's true. It's true. All of them are shit. I don't even care about
Let's see your formation. Let's see your formation.
Okay, let's play 4-3-3. Hypothetically, Cucurella play on the left side. I'll play Tosin.
Tosin, yes, agreed.
Play on the left side of the defense.
Okay.
I will change Shaloba to the right side of the defense.
But he's best at left. He's not right. That's his best position is right, not left.
Who?
No, he's good everywhere. Chaloba is solid, whatever what you think. He's solid 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It doesn't depend. He can play.
Just in case if we have Badeshiu back, let's say Badeshiu is back.
Okay, yes.
If we have Badeshiu, I'll put Shaloba and Badeshiu in the defense. They can't be as worse as what we have. I'll tell Malogusto to rest.
And goalkeeper?
And judges, you know.
Jorgensen.
Yeah, I don't care about that useless goalkeeper we have.
Robert Sanchez.
I don't care about him. Even him to have injury, I don't even care. He can go injured. All throughout the season, I don't care.
Okay.
Rich James to play his natural position. I don't even care if you want to get injured. Just give me 5 great games on your natural
James
position.
Can get injured even walking his dog.
No, I just said just give me. Just give me 5 great games.
Like the theory about the People's Republic, up and down. No, Rhys James got injured in training. He got injured watching TV, eating dinner, doing everything. So when
let me finish my formation, Mr. Oath.
Yes, sir. Go.
If Lavia is fit.
No, but right now he's not fit, so you can't say that.
If Lavia is fit, sir.
But he's injured, so you can't mention him.
Okay, let me just see the available players. Okay, then I'm going to play Jusbriol.
You said. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jusbriol. I'll play Enzo Fernandez, who play on the left side of the midfield. Jusbriol will play on the right side of the midfield. And Casedo is going to be a 4-3-3 diamond.
Oh, I like this.
Okay.
I like this.
On my right side, I'm going to carry Kopama back to my right side.
A heart attack information.
Huh?
I may feel something like a heart attack formation.
No, this is not attack information. This is a diamond formation.
Let him finish, please.
Yeah,
this is a diamond formation because if you notice, we're going to win the ball mostly in the middle. So because we are losing the ball in the middle often, that's why they are easy to penetrate us with all those long passes. Yeah. I'm trying to prevent all those long passes.
Yeah,
in that
I got your point. Yeah.
So in the wing, I'm going to send this boy back to the right wing. Kopama,
okay.
Back to the right wing. Reason why I'm going to play him back to the right wing is
not
because
like a right winger, but inverted.
Yeah, right winger. Right, reason why I'm going to play him as the right winger because I will want Rhys James to be pulling forward. It's going to free Kopama to be picking up pockets.
Okay.
Just like the way Pochettino used him last season.
And who are you going to use from the other wing? Sancho or Neto or Madueke?
Okay. On the left side, I'm going to use Neto.
Ooh.
Okay.
He's so useless like at the moment. Yeah.
Sancho is out of form.
Yeah, but so is Neto.
But it's still better than Sancho.
Yeah, okay.
Sancho is losing ball.
Well, you wouldn't use that young guy. What's his name? George Tariq.
If I said, let's say this is me picking. Let's say this is me picking. I'll put Tariq as a second half. Is Madrid back in? Is it back in training?
No.
Okay.
No, no shame.
If Madrid was back in training, I'll just put him there. But I'm gonna put what's his name on the right side. Then either Giyu or Nkuku. And let me say something. Let's say Giyu. Okay, Giyu is injured. Then I'll put Nkuku on the front side, and he's gonna play as a false 9.
Yeah, but you have to play him around the box, though. when you play your
You
false
don't
nine
understand.
as a number 6,
Mr.
there is a
Mr.
problem.
Oates,
Yeah.
under Pochettino, when Nkuku came for a few games that he was fit, he played as a first time, but you saw the difference of what he was doing. He was able to pickpocket. This coach is not utilizing the first 9 position
That's the
very
problem.
well.
That's the problem. You
He
put a
doesn't know how
number
to
9
utilize
who
the
is not
position
even
well.
in the box
Because
90%
these
of
players,
the time.
let me explain something. Let me explain one more thing. If you notice, our wingers are not even coming out for the ball because there are so many openings against Brighton that we could have penetrated the wings until when Tariq George came. Nobody was penetrating the wings. You see what I'm saying? This guy can come in and come get the ball in the midfield and distribute it. Now that we are conceding too many goals, I can change the formation to a 4-5-1. Stop the midfield. We're going to score 1 goal or 2 goals. You see what I'm saying? There are so many things this coach could do. Or change the formation to a 3-4-3.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do it. Okay, let's
Play
go.
if you play a 3-4-3, we still will have extra players.
All right, so Mr. Le Français Dev, you wanted to say something that
Yes,
is like
yes,
a hard
yes.
attack FC
Yes, that's a heart attack midfield,
formation.
man. It's a heart attack midfield. And you know, he tried his best. I'm pretty sure if Gallagher was here today, he would have put Gallagher in the midfield instead. And I can see what he's trying to provide. But the problem here is I agree with everyone here when we say our defense is butt crap. I could bet $50,000. I'm faster than Chalobah. I'm faster than what's his name? Cowell. I'm stronger and faster than Cowell, even though I'm 5'6" short. I'm fast. I'm African. I will dust this guy. And then you also have Tosin. Tosin is another slow defender. He reads the game well because he knows he doesn't have the pace. So he's kind of playing like Thiago Silva. Let me be ahead of time so I could stop the ball. You guys remember the goal that we conceded when Chalobah and Mutumba, whatever his name is. That goal has haunted my dreams. The way he controlled that ball and turned, it felt like all day. You as a defender, you never let a player get comfortable with a touch like that. That was Chalobah, right? So no matter how we set ourselves up, I think we need to talk about the high line or the mid block or the low block. I think we better on the mid block attacking than trying to play a high line, because every team that play against Chelsea is like, let them keep the ball. We're gonna dust either Chalobah, Tosin, or Cowell, or whoever is playing that CB. That's where our problem is at. Our 2 CBs, a matter of fact, our 4 defensive line, the way it's set up, is terrible. It's terrible. That's why every time that we get scored on, it's either a counter attack or a long ball. So if we're gonna set up that midfield, the reason why what's his name, Pochettino the reason we were picking up points with Pochettino when he inverted Cucurella and using Gallagher was because Enzo Fernandez was off that midfield. I'm not calling Enzo Fernandez shit. No, I'm saying Enzo is not a 6-cylinder. He's not a V6 or a V8. He doesn't have that speed or even the energy to keep up with the Premier League. So when he's playing as that 8 role /10, being creative, who in their rightful mind thinks Caicedo by himself could stop everybody? Caicedo is not yet at the level of N'Golo Kante. So playing that Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, what we've learned last season is that we were still getting penetrated in the middle, and that's the reason why our attackers come deep to receive the ball instead of doing the opposite, have our midfield take the ball to them. But the problem is, if our midfield do carry the ball forward and they lose it, the way they're going to run off our defense, our defense will be confused. All they do is going to run back instead of trying to stop the player. So our defense is the main source of our problem, guys, because when we don't score, we lose. And then if we only score 1, we draw. And if you score 2, it's hard attack FC. We never know what's going to happen in the last minute. So our 4 defensive line, Cucurella, or whether it is Cowell or Chalobah or Reece James or whoever is there, right? Those guys are our main problem. That's the reason why we miss players like Rudiger. Rudiger will not care. He will crash onto you. He will face headbutt
He
you.
will
Like
take the
the
ball,
ball is in
and
the air, and this
you
guy
and
is
your
like never coming to
family,
the
your
ball.
wife, he's gonna take
Because he knows that
everybody
if
on
he
the
let
way.
you run by, it's over. So this guy will cause maybe a technical foul or something. We do not have that. We do not have that rough player that will put you uncomfortable.
But also,
It says here I'm losing
and that's
connection.
why
So you guys
also
still hear me.
Maresca need to take some responsibilities,
So-
because if you look
So
at what
with that,
yeah, you can't hear us.
no matter how we change, even the back three, somebody said 3-4-3. Hey, it's gonna be a boring game to
I
watch
think you
because
can't
Chelsea
hear
ain't gonna do
us. We
nothing
can
with the
hear
ball.
you, but you can't hear us. You
Every
don't have
time that we
direct.
push forward and we get to our final six,
Le Français Dev, disconnect yourself and come back because you can't hear us. We can hear you, and even when I want to comment something, you can't hear me. So
Exactly.
take yourself off and come back, and then it's gonna fix the problem. He has some connection issues from his side. So when you don't have character in the defense, and you let the only guy who got some character in the defense, Renato Vega, go, there is a problem. That is the coach also problem. So you can blame whoever you want. The structure is bad. The ownership are crap. The sporting director, they are nobodies. The problem is we still have 25 players that are in a good level, and with a good coach who knows how to manage them in terms of like a human being, who can make a good rotation, who can come up with a good system to fit them. Ancelotti played with 1,000 players injured, not even a defender, and still beat Manchester City.
hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
I lost reception. Yes, I can hear you. I
Yeah,
did lost
now
connection.
because you were talking, and when we say something to you, you can't hear us. So we didn't have any kind of back and forth. So what I said is the manager also, when you let somebody like Joao Felix go, Ben Chilwell go, Renato Vega go, they are not bad players. They are, you might make whatever narrative you want, but they're still good player in a good level. Under a good manager and a good setup, you can still get something out of them. You look at Renato Vega, he's called the wall. The wall in Italy right now. Mota came to praise him. All the journalists in Italy are like, wow, Chelsea, how can you let somebody like him go? So it tells you also that the big part of what we have, the entire structure is rotten by our manager, and we should not go only point fingers on one individual because everybody is crap. So if everybody is crap, that means something is wrong. Even Cole Palmer can't play now, can't get on the ball. He's been awful. We don't talk about him because he's Cole Palmer. He's going to save you with a goal from nowhere, but everybody is poor. How is that? You are the head of coaching and managing the team in your level. Forget about directors didn't buy Drogba or didn't buy Anelka, right? Forget about that. What you do in your level with the players that you have, what kind of message you are giving to them. Some of them are called out publicly. Some of them have been protected to protect Robert Sanchez. He comes out, oh, look at Madueke, look at such and such. They're all missing. So why are you always talking about Robert Sanchez? So he threw everybody under the bus just to support one person. So there are so many problems in the coaching level that we have also to acknowledge.
And what is your formation, and who are you going to play with the current players available for your crisis team right now?
Go back to the basics. Like I said, I also play traditional 4-3-3. Play it.
Playing who? Who? Playing which players?
The players that you have there that are fit right now.
Yes,
even the same players, listen, because we don't have even any choices right now. Joao Felix is gone, so we don't have many. Jackson is injured. Guiu is injured, so it's picked up itself. Nkunku continue to play him, but as a false nine who actually play at the edge of the opposition freaking box, not somebody who drop like Jackson, because he's supposed to save his energy, see the pitch clearly, and score goals the way Pochettino used to play him. So the same players, bro, the same players under that simple structure will get better results than now. Yeah, you can say whatever you want. I don't want to throw names there because it's a lot of narrative, especially when you're coming from Cobham, like Chaluba or Levi Colwell or Gallagher is 1,000 times more hit than a normal guy. Now people are even missing Badiashile, and even the Lamborghini guy, people are missing him. But when he's on the pitch, Badiashile is the Lamborghini guy, right? So people are saying, oh, if he was here, because of the hate they have toward academy product. But when they are on the pitch, they are not doing anything. So that tells you that you can't have 25 players, all of them bad, and the only guy that is safe is the manager, because you can't touch him, because you have to blame the sporting directors. So I don't care who plays, bro. I'm just focused on the structure.
I have different idea. So because we are in crisis mode, we are in damage control mode, we are in therapy mode, whatever you want mode, and we got to throw caution to the wind and try something different. We can't carry on, the same old thing. This is, and expecting a different result. We've been found out, and if you don't change, we're just going to keep losing. So. Playing because we have to protect him. I'm going to play. He's played there before. A centre back, Reece James. Reece James along with Achimpong. I think Achimpong got a raw deal. He got one game, 2 games, made one small tiny mistake, and then he's been benched. I think that is very unfair. And on the left hand side, we've got to play Cucurella. Right hand side, as much as I hate him, Gusto. In the midfield, you've got to play KDH in his natural position, the way he was playing at Leicester, and he was looking like a world star. So like up front, and in front of him, you're going to play Cole Palmer. And Nkunku, I'll throw him to the bomb squad. And then you're going to play midfield. You're going to have Caicedo again. You've got to be careful not to wear him out and not to get him injured. But Caicedo, Enzo. And who's the other one? We did one more midfield player. I don't know.
And stuff like that.
No, but he's injured, so you can't choose him. So who else is available? That guy, I don't know. Well, you will have those two. There's 2 holding midfield. There's 2 holding. I'll play like Kais.
And we have a young Amugu also, the young that we just bought from Saint Etienne. We don't even know how he's gonna be. The manager himself came out to say he's not good enough to start for Chelsea. Immediately you discourage a young player. Oh no, we didn't buy him to start. So why did you even go and spend the entire month to buy a young kid from France and come talk stupid in front of the media? It makes no sense. So what's your point, Mr. People's Republic?
So, and if I was actually thinking out of the box, because we need a centre forward, we need somebody strong. We need that old school type, that meat and potatoes, that Chris Wood type, and we actually have him in the team, believe it or not. But now, please don't fall off your chair when I say this. I'm going to play who? Our player we got for free. How did you know? How did you know this?
No, I think this is what is just guessing what people are saying.
Wow. You're a very clever man. Exactly, Tosin. We've seen him. He's very good at attacking. He's good at heading. Because how many times did Chelsea cross the ball into the box? Nobody there. We all had all these small strikers. So there's no point in crossing the ball in the box if the strikers are so small and it's easy for defensive. So you need that strong type that wasn't going to bully defenders. It's going to drag defenders and make space for the other ones. Something just different. And if you can try 1-2 games, you're playing Southampton, so you can allow yourself to experiment. But if that works, hey, God bless you. You remember when Conte came up with a system 3 at the back? That was also experimenting because Chelsea had sort of like ground to a halt. And he experimented and it worked well. And so why not try something completely different, even if it means playing.
I don't think he has the courage to do that, though. He's a guy that is very, very cautious about what he does. Everything needs to be perfect, and I don't think he's gonna try. Those kind of stuff takes the big balls like Pep Guardiola to play Josko Gvardiol literally as a number 10 or as an attacking or whatever. John Stone, Pep can afford to do that, but if Maresca does it, he doesn't have the balls to do. He doesn't even have the ball to change the system. How he's going to have the ball to
4-5-1. Then we
change
yes, as Mr. Francais there says, it's boring to watch, but at least we won't get overrun every time we lose the ball. And we just play fast counter-attacking. The way Chelsea has always played counter-attacking football, because this business of playing on the front foot, always having the ball, teams actually give you the balls. Hey, here you go, Chelsea.
What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
We know what you're going to do. You're going to play straight through the middle. We're just going to pack the middle, and you've got nowhere to go. And even if you do pass the ball to Neto or Madueke on the right, or Sanchez on the left, Sancho on the left, you're going to do nothing with it. So it's just easy. It's very predictable. You've got to do something. You've got to try something completely different. Because otherwise, we're just going to be here again, back for more therapy, and then you'll be blaming the board.
So, guys, we have a game on Saturday, but Everton. What are you talking about? Aston Villa actually are playing right now. The game just started, just kick off now against Liverpool. So we have 8 days off, and Aston Villa will have like 3 days before the next game against Chelsea Football Club. Mr. Chelsea for life. What do you think about that game? What should we do to try to get 3 points against Aston Villa?
Since we wasn't doing good last couple games, so this game he has to step up. And Aston Villa also different. They're not playing same as before. They got new players getting used to the club. They are also, going draw. So this game,
and that's what they need against Chelsea.
When the team is
struggling, you play against Charity FC, and then you got your mojo back. Today they might lose against Liverpool, but Chelsea are Chelsea. Listen, Brighton, they lost 7-0 the previous game in the Premier League, and they come and beat Chelsea twice in the space of less than a week. So those math or whatever, what we want to make something to make us feel good. It just don't work with Chelsea. Let's be honest. Those things don't work with Chelsea. We are in trouble, and we have to admit it. Yes, go on, man. I'm cutting you for no reason.
Yeah, like I said, we're not doing good. Like you said, we're not doing good. Every team can beat us now. But I believe we still can come back, and if the coach press this, players and say, hey, why we used to do good, now why we doing bad? And our defenders horrible, like you guys said, and he has to press them. I think we can win. And I believe we can win if the coach come up with a different idea and different mentality. We can win. But if we continue same mentality and same idea, we're not going to win. We are not going to win. No chance. But like I said, Aston Villa also are not doing great. We can win them because they have new players, and they're still trying to get to know these players, and we have a chance to win against them. If we attack, we can score goals.
That is a Chelsea thing. Even Manchester City, when they were struggling, they beat Chelsea. Even Ipswich of old people. That's what we said. Oh, they don't win. They haven't even won any game at home for the entire season. Chelsea went there and gifted them 3 points. So this is Chelsea, but probably we have just to pray, okay? It's just like go to church.
Let's cross fingers.
Don't watch the game. Go to church. Go to the mosque or something. Start praying because you don't know what you got from this team. Oh, Mr. Andrew been back here. Andrew, are you still there or are you still at work?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Wow, it's been like 1,000 years. You don't talk, you don't jump.
No, I was just listening to everybody. So,
I even forgot that you are in the house. I just... Yeah, you want to say something, bro?
No, I was just saying that, I don't have any hope for this match. I don't have any hope for any of the matches to come, because how I see it, that there's no cohesion with the club, with the teammates. There's no mentality. If you're going to look for former rugby player, who even some of the rugby players don't even, some of the supporters for rugby have no idea who this man is, and they want him to instill a winning mentality into the players. I mean, what's the manager there for? I think that would be his job, to get that. All right, if you're not going to play for me as a manager, play for each other, and not even that is there. So, to be honest, I don't think it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what team we're going to come with. All I can see is an L for the foreseeable future.
Man, you are gone. Your head is gone, bro. What happened
This is
to
how
you?
I see it.
You gone?
This is how I see it. Until this hierarchy is removed, or till they remove themselves. I mean, I don't really think anything's going to change. I just think things are going to get. I'm just being prepared for it, because, you know, even if we do get a win, let's say we get a win, do you think it's something that they'll be able to build on? Or is it something where it would just be sporadic? We'll just have a win here, then maybe a couple of losses, a draw, then another win. This is not the Chelsea that we all know and love. It's not been like this, you know. Not been like this. It's a very sad state of affairs, how I see it right now. Very, very sad. How the club is being destroyed.
Lord have mercy. So Aston Villa, we got 3 points already here. Me, I'm the crazy one that always believe that, you know, one day you have to win. No matter what, you start somewhere, okay? You win, and then you worry about the next game. I really want to go back to the Champions League at any cost. I don't want to go to Conference League, go to Kazakhstan again. No, we need to.
This is essential. But with what we have right now, do you really believe that we can go to the Champions League and even perform in the Champions League? Do you really think so?
It could change, you know. 2 months ago, we were beating every single team. Now we are like a Sunday League team. So it's football. Anything can change in a snap. Poch started very, very poorly with a lot of injuries last season. And then we somehow managed to start winning games at the end of the season, and we finished the season strongly. So this is football. Anything can still change. So I'm gonna just keep my 1%, you know, always believing in this team, and I hope that we can finish this season really strongly. The game is the Liverpool game. It's already 22 minutes, still 0-0. I think Arsenal fans now are supporting Aston Villa, Mr. Good Evening, praying that he can get a result here. So if Aston Villa beat Liverpool, oh my goodness, I'm afraid this Arsenal, it could be their year to go and win it. But I don't want them to win, because nobody is going to survive for I don't know how many years. Arsenal back again in the title talk. This is going to be the end of the world, the end of me. But anyways, and in how many minutes? In 7 minutes now, there are so many games coming up. We have PSG against Brest, PSV against Juventus, and Real Madrid against Manchester City. The first game in the Champions League just finished. Dortmund against Sporting, and it's 0-0. So that is what is happening. We have 7 minutes here, and I'm going to take a break and come back. I'm going to leave everything and commentary of the Champions League on the screen and come back, open the phone again. So if anybody want to empty the pocket and say something that you forgot or something you say.
Can I ask Mr. Distinguished a question?
Yeah,
yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, Mr. Distinguished, my brother. So,
yes,
because you're a very intelligent man, you know everything. And so we want to hear your solution to the current crisis we have, which player or team or formation or what system would you recommend if you were given the reins?
I don't really have any, to be honest with you, because, like I said, I'm not hopeful. I'm being brutally honest here. I'm not hopeful at all. I just think that because that mentality is not there, to fight for each other and so on and so forth. I just don't think it's gonna materialize. I don't think it's gonna materialize anytime soon. So it doesn't really matter who I put on the pitch. I think this is just my opinion. I hope to be wrong, but I think it's just gonna be L, to be honest with you. That's my brutal opinion.
Oh, that's very, very sad. I've never heard this from this Andrew so low down.
Yeah, he's down. Look at what Maresca has done to this guy, man.
Wow.
And the owner, Chelsea owner, just broke Mr. Andrew. We can't even hear him because he's very, very, very down. Yeah.
Subdued.
Yeah, I'm still here. It's just that this little one, she's trying to give me a bit
I
of
understand.
problem. What I'll do, I'll pop back on at the halftime.
Yeah, no problem, my friend. No problem.
Yeah, so
Halftime.
I'll speak to you, gentlemen, distinguished gentlemen, later.
Distinguished gentlemen.
Okay, ciao, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, God bless, Mr. Andrew.
Yeah, okay, we'll catch you at halftime when the thingy.
When I'm back for another session.
Enjoy your croissants.
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win between Real Madrid and?
That one is good. That is no brainer. Real Madrid will win. Real Madrid will win, and it will be a controversial penalty from the referee. The usual. You cannot win in Madrid. It's not going to happen. So that is. When was last time Madrid lost in Champions League at home? I don't think it's happened in many, many years.
Chelsea beat them over there. So it's.
But they don't normally lose there. They got a good team. They have so much routine, so much experience, and I think City is a very confusing team because 1 week they play fantastic, next week and you think they lost again or they drew. How was that possible? But you can feel it that they're the way back. They're not finished. They were finished before, but they bought this guy here, Marouche. What's his name? Omar Mamouche. Okay, he's obviously a new guy. The defenders don't know him. You have to give them 3-4 more weeks. They will know how to play against him. But while he's still fresh, while he's still alive, the guy is electric. And so now you got to both Mark Haaland and Marouche. So that is now defenders.
He's not there. Haaland is not playing today. He's on the bench.
Oh, okay, but I'm just saying going forward. The defenders are teams that have a tough time because you're going to now have to both compensate for Marouche and Haaland. So you have to play one-on-one on both of those guys there, and we will see how good. So you can imagine Trevor Chalobah marking one of those two guys there. That is the disaster masterclass. You need somebody, defenders who are obviously fast on their feet and also a bit, how can I say, you play mind games. You can also mentally bully them, trash talking a bit. You get inside the player's head, and that's one way of compensating. If you
that is Arsenal dark art.
That is football. Anything counts, and then football is football. You got to use all tricks in the book. What did they do back in the old days? Remember that picture there, Vinnie Jones, who was grabbing Paul Gascoigne by the private parts. You see, remember that thing? Any trick in the book, you just basically get inside
do to win.
Yeah. And you don't think that John Terry and all those guys those days they didn't trash talk to the other teams. You would see, you can see a player, a centre forward who 3-4 games in a row has been scoring. Suddenly they come to play Chelsea. Suddenly guy disappears. Where did that guy go? What happened to him? And you just know that one of those John Terry
mentally.
Yes, they just there's just some little dark arts, small things there.
Liverpool, what a goal! Yes, sir. Keep going.
Right, penalty or what for Liverpool?
No, Liverpool just scored a normal goal. 1-0. Okay, people, come back at halftime. All right.
Who scored? Which player?
I don't know.
No, that's not good. Okay,
we're gonna double check.
Yeah, we'll check. We'll check. I was actually watching handball. You watch the sport of handball.
Handball?
Yeah, you know handball.
I know handball, but I don't watch them unless if they are like women playing handball. It's good.
Oh, fantastic! Hey, by the way, I saw before you go, I saw this very, very interesting. I don't know if this is true or fake news. Your Paris FC stadium is like 100 meters from the Stade de France. Is that true?
No, from Parc des Princes. Yeah.
Excuse me, Parc de France.
But we are not promoted yet, so it's like they have a chance to come back to the French League One. So what's wrong by having just few blocks away from your rival? Nothing wrong. And also PSG are leaving. They are going to build their own stadium because the stadiums mostly in France they belongs to the government, to the city, and it's just like a public thing. So PSG wanna build their own stadium, but that is another topic.
But I thought Qatar is leaving PSG, so that the sponsorship
leaving PSG.
Yeah, you didn't hear that story. The sponsors.
No,
it's true. Yes, Qatar wants to pull out of all sports, if in France and
Excuse
PSG.
me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Enzo Maresca just got fired.
What?
Oh, really?
Yes. Check the news.
Oh, let me double check. Enzo Maresca
sacked.
Wow.
Lord have mercy, man.
Let's see. Well, exactly. Oh, wow. That is breaking news.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Enzo Maresca sacked?
Yes.
Wow. Let me just check. Let me see Talk Sport here.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm watching here from
Sky Sport. I just watched Sky Sport.
Sky Sport?
Yeah, Enzo Maresca got sacked.
Oh Lord, Fabrizio Romano hasn't. Yeah, he's a little bit delayed, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why they didn't give details?
No, I mean, I just immediately come back.
Thank you so much because I was going to leave, but now it looks like I'm gonna have to stay for a little bit. No,
who's gonna be
therapy.
next coach?
Huh?
That's gonna be the question. Who's gonna be next coach? Now we gotta get a mentality winning coach.
Sky Sport. I haven't seen like Fabrizio Romano will say something about this. Let me check on Pice and guys like what the heck? I don't know. I don't see anybody mentioning anything. Sky Sport. Or are you watching like a Sky Sport Mogadishu or something?
I'm trying to find out.
I've seen it on the Sky Sport. I mean, I didn't finish. I should have continued. I mean, I seen it. She was saying he's sacked.
Sky Sport football here. I haven't seen anything, to be honest with you. They're not. I don't see any breaking news. Are you watching on TV? Or? Because if that was the case, it was going to be trending everywhere. Maresca. But I'm refreshing my page like 1,000 times. Believe me. I haven't seen anywhere.
Okay, let me double check. Let me go ask Google.
Yeah, probably you read those Sky Sport that they will say Sky not Sport, and they put the same logo, and they're like parody account where they publish certain things, certain fake news there just to make people laugh. I haven't seen anything. Like I'm scrolling everywhere. Situation like this, you're gonna see like Chelsea, the club statement or something like that. It's nothing, bro. Nothing. Double check your sources because still no club statement, no Fabrizio Romano, no anybody, no even Sky Sport on social media. There's nothing. It could be one of those people who use Sky Sport with their logos, their names, and then they publish some kind of fake news just for attention on social media.
Clicks, yeah. I can't say anything. I've checked both.
Whoa, Real Madrid, 1-0.
Already, Jesus, the paint is not even dry. The paint is not even dry to score already.
Yeah. Game over, man. 1-0 in the 3rd minute or 4th minute already. That's crazy. 1-0. So, brother, double check on your.
Double check. Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, on your sources. And Mr. People's Republic, I'm gonna also take a break and come back if we confirm the news. We're gonna be back, but I don't see anything.
Wow, what a great goal by Mbappe! Wow.
I don't see anything so far, so I'm gonna take a break, get something, and then I'll be back at halftime. Unless if our brother, I don't know, maybe Sky Sports, huh?
So your friend Kylian Mbappe scored the nice goal. Long ball. We're playing like Sam Allardyce. Long ball. It's just
that's what you need sometimes, because everybody knows how to play against Manchester City. You beat them behind defenders. And what Enzo Maresca did, boom. Okay, let's go. Match them, tiki-taka. And they were just playing one ball over the top. And then Haaland one-on-one. And then the time that Chaluba wanna position himself, it's happened very quickly. The way that he wanna turn, already Sanchez rushing there. Those situations happen like in 1 second. That's what people don't understand, and they're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, he bullied." All right, but the structure that we are playing, we shouldn't even allow that pass to go through. Where is our midfielder? Oh no, we're not gonna talk because we don't touch Enzo Fernandez. That's the way it is. But it is what it is. I'm gonna take a break and come back at some point.
Yes. Okay. See you.
See you, Mr. People's Republic and everybody else. Don't go away because we're gonna leave everything on the screen.
Cross, he's trying to cover, and so Mbappe is all alone. He shows good strength in the first place to hold his position, and that panics Diaz a little bit. But the quality of the ball from young Asensio is sensational, because if that's a bit wide of him or it's too far ahead, he can't get there. So it is beautifully dropped into Mbappe's path.
Well, these are not good signs for Manchester City. Already a goal down and already having to make a substitution. Nathan Ake is about to come on for John Stones.
Updates from elsewhere in the Champions League tonight. Still PSV Eindhoven 0, Juventus 0. Juventus 2-1 up on aggregate there. Paris Saint-Germain have just had the first chance and no to the night in the French capital against Brest. Remember, Paris Saint-Germain are 3-0 up from the first leg. Back at the Parc des Princes. Ball cut back from the right-hand side. And Bradley Barcola from a tight angle into the side netting, close to the opening goal. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Brest 0, still 3-0 on aggregate.
We're just having a look at our monitors to see what happened to John Stones. It was literally, did he jar his knee or his hip?
It's not the contact, it's the, he passes it slightly awkwardly under pressure from Vinicius, but there's actually no real contact between the players. And I think you're right, he's just jarred something in the turf, so you hope that's not a long-term issue, and he's just walked fairly serenely off the pitch, but obviously very upset that he's had to go off already. Ake, a great player, like super solid player, great on the ball, but has had injury problems. Be interesting to see how his fitness holds up for the rest of the game, but very experienced, high-quality player to be able to bring on.
Well, he's had a slight muscle strain in the last week or so. Akanji's now out long-term. So problems for Pep Guardiola in defence. He's made a change. Real Madrid have the lead through Kylian Mbappe, and City now have to win this game by the minimum of a 2-goal margin to stand any chance of making it through to the round of 16. UEFA Champions League match day live at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. 8.5 minutes played, and the ball is at the feet of the Real Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, the towering figure of Thibaut Courtois, dressed in sky blue, to Antonio Rudiger on the left edge of the penalty area. This takes, well, there wasn't really as much pressure on Real Madrid, but it's really calmed their nerves, if there were any.
Well, as I say, it was a good start, Mike, from City in the first couple of minutes. They had possession, they were knocking it around, making Real chase, but Real know they always have that ability to go direct because they've got so much pace in their attack. And that has given City a real challenge now because they are 2 goals down on aggregate. But City have to stick to the plan. They have to try and have spells of possession. They're pushing Oshko Gvardiol quite high up on this left-hand side. They have to stick to the plan. And if they can get a goal back fairly quickly, then they're right back in it. But it's a hammer blow to them. Just in that forward line, it's interesting. A lot of rotation so far between Foden, Savinho, Marmoush.
Played in by Foden to the edge of the area. Bernardo Silva at the D, now to the left edge of the box. Gvardiol turns in, right-footed shot, strikes the body of Tchouaméni. And Gvardiol then tries to win it back for Manchester City before Ceballos steps in. And under pressure from a couple of City players, is eventually brought down by the aforementioned Gvardiol. It's a free kick to Real Madrid.
What turn in midfield by Ceballos, that was lovely. And he's a player that has really had to bide his time at Real Madrid. He's had loan spells away, he's had times where he hasn't been part of the coach's thinking, but because of some of the injuries and because of some of the reorganisation, he's found himself in midfield recently and he's doing a fine job. I thought he played with a fair bit of personality in that first leg, and I think he's a player of real quality.
Well, this is his 8th UEFA Champions League appearance of the season, Dani Ceballos. But Manchester City have possession over on the far side, their right. It's played infield towards Nico, and then with the help of Gundogan, played to the substitute Ake, who steps into the Real Madrid half. The ball is played along the floor to the near side, to the feet of Gvardiol. And now with Nico again, City move it out to the far side, their right. Foden, support from Kusanov, who drives it in low, strikes the legs of Ferland Mendy, and Manchester City have a throw-in.
So you have Ake and Diaz in the middle now for Manchester City, and Kusanov out on that right-back role. He's played most of his young career as a centre-back, but sometimes in a 3 as a wide centre-back, so has had that licence to get forward a bit more, so it shouldn't faze him too much, but I say that, if you're up against Vinicius Junior, that might just faze you a bit.
City thought they had possession, but the ball has gone out for a throw-in to Real Madrid. Pep Guardiola pacing around his technical area. It's been so frustrating as you're the coach. You make preparations for what is such a big game. Tactically, you're trying to outsmart another one of the best coaches in the world in Carlo Ancelotti, and then within 4 minutes, the plans changed. Within a couple more minutes, you lose a player.
And this is what Real Madrid can do to you. In a moment, they can just take a game away from you, and you know, it was a really good pass from Asensio, but really direct, and they can hit you in lots of different ways: combination play, counter-attack, or, as we saw with the goal, just a straight ball down the middle.
He scored the first goal for Real Madrid in the first leg, and he's got the opening goal here tonight. Kylian Mbappe's strike in the 4th minute means that it's Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 0 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. Remember, no away goals. But City know they must score twice at least. We've had 12.5 minutes play, and Real Madrid are calmly knocking it around in the central area of the field with Ceballos. Looks up, steers it to the near side to find Federico Valverde, the Real Madrid captain and right back for the evening, all the way through to Rudiger. How do you think Rudiger will fare? He's been out for just a few games.
He's the kind of player that can just snap straight back into form. So experienced and plays with such charisma, I think, and he hasn't got Erling Haaland to deal with tonight as well, at least so far.
So far. I wonder whether we will see Haaland at some point this evening. Remember, of course, Manchester City have got to play Liverpool this Sunday, so that if things don't go well here and they are, let's just say Real Madrid are out of sight, Pep Guardiola might think, well, I need to keep Erling Haaland ready for the Liverpool game.
I mean, the way he spoke ahead of the game did suggest that it wouldn't necessarily be a risk they'd take, but I guess we'll see.
Real Madrid coming forward down the left. Vinicius Junior gets away from Kusanov, and then his cross is blocked by Ruben Dias. Real Madrid have a corner, though.
It's a good spell this for Real Madrid. Starting to get on the ball a bit more. Vinicius Junior, I think, will fancy going up against Kusanov, who is a very, very promising player with lots of potential, but not much experience at this level.
Rodrigo is waiting to take this corner. It's a left-wing corner, so it'll be an in-swinger with the right boot of the Brazilian. Most of the players are close to the goal as it's flicked towards the far post. There was no one there of a Real Madrid persuasion to get on the end of it, but it was a terrific flick on by Jude Bellingham.
He's brilliant in the air, Bellingham, and he just dashes out towards the corner of the box there, and it's really nice idea. He's just trying to drop that ball inside the far post. He didn't miss by much, and City were caught out a bit by that routine, but he made that dart to the corner of the box really, really quickly, and nobody really went with him.
That would have been the perfect delivery for Raúl.
Ah, yes.
The Real Madrid legend, Raúl, the poacher.
We're showing our age now, aren't we?
We are a little bit, but they have.
Raúl wasn't even that long ago, I guess, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, it's got to be 20, 25 years now. I know it doesn't feel that long, but it probably is.
It's a scary sentence, Mike.
Manchester City have it. You're listening to UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. We're at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu to see Real Madrid against Manchester City, the last two winners of the UEFA Champions League, but one of them is not even going to get beyond this game, and at the moment it looks like Manchester City are going to head out of this season's competition.
So City have just won a free kick. Phil Foden tripped up, and that's what they've got to do more of. They've got to get Foden on the ball a lot more, get Savinho on the ball, and try and commit some of these Real Madrid players, because they have that one-on-one ability just to open up that space. And Foden won that penalty last week in the first leg. Need to get him running at Real whenever they can.
Marmoush and Foden are in discussion by the stationary ball, which is out towards the right side. It's about 10 meters outside the penalty area, so a good position from which to swing it in. Marmoush does so. Two players fall to the ground inside the area. Gonzalez and Ceballos. I think the referee is going to have a retake on the free kick. Oh, it wasn't actually Ceballos. It was Asensio went down with Nico, wrestling with each other inside the area, which means that Istvan Kovacs wants to have a word with both players. It does amaze me that a lot of, well, especially if you watch, say, English Premier League football, a lot of players get away with that holding, which in other countries is not permitted as much, but still they're pushing and shoving each other.
Stopped.
And the referee's keeping a close eye on them. So the ball is back on the right side, and it's going to be Marmoush again, right-footed, drives it in, headed away by a Real Madrid player. Ceballos falls over, claiming he was fouled by Kusanov, but it's going to be a throw-in on this near side.
Does take a great set-piece, Marmoush. Strikes the ball with such ferocity, whether it's going for goal. I've seen him score a few direct free kicks this season, but he takes a lovely corner, takes a great free kick. It really gives you an opportunity to attack the ball.
It's a City throw-in on the near side. 17 minutes have passed. They trail to Kylian Mbappe's early goal, and they're 4-2 down on aggregate, Manchester City, as they have possession with İlkay Gündoğan, who returned to City from Real Madrid's arch rivals, Barcelona. Dias into the Real Madrid half. It's not being played at a particularly high pace, this game. And Real Madrid wait for their moment and get possession back in midfield with Tchouaméni. Ceballos now on the left, infield to Bellingham, back to Tchouaméni. Nice, neat, sharp, sensible balls.
Well, just to pick up on your point about the pace the game is played at, it's played at the pace that Real want to play it at until they want to up the tempo like they will now.
To the edge of the area now, towards the centre. Mbappe's shot is deflected, and Ederson won't get to it. It's going to be another Real Madrid corner.
And that's what they can do to you. They can go through the gears really quickly, so they will just slow it down, keep possession, wait for the angle to open up, and then bang, that's when they really go for it.
Very much relaxed and working the ball well in these opening moments of the second leg of this knockout phase playoff match against Manchester City. In comes the corner to the back post. Mbappe was about to fire in a volley. Guardiola got in the way, but it's still with Real Madrid on the far side of the field, midway inside City territory. Back it goes all the way to this near side for Ceballos, and now Rodrigo into Bellingham. It's really good possession football here. Nothing fancy, nothing too flamboyant, but it's effective.
Real have twice at set pieces now seen Jude Bellingham make that near post run and get the flick on, and had it drop for Mbappe, City were in big trouble. So they've just got to watch for that. It's happened a couple of times now. He's had unchallenged headers at the near post.
Excellent footwork from Rodrigo all the way to the edge of the area. It's now at the D. Mbappe manoeuvring for space. Another shot blocked. Another corner for Real Madrid. They're working it so well.
But just a touch too many there from Mbappe. Not like him, really. Thought he was just going to get that out of his feet and hit it as swiftly as possible. It just allowed City to get across and make the block, but the way Rodrigo opened up the space. We often talk about Vinicius, we talk about Mbappe, we talk about Bellingham. Sometimes I feel Rodrigo can occasionally be the odd man out in that conversation. He is sensational. Such an incredible young player who's packed a lot into his short career so far.
He just went down after that move and is back on his feet again and gave a thumbs up to the Real Madrid bench so that this corner can be taken. We've just passed the 20-minute mark. The pushing and shoving is going on again in front of Ederson. It's between Rudiger and Bernardo Silva this time, and again referee Kovacs has gone in there to make a point. I suspect if this goes on, someone is going to receive a yellow card. Is Rudiger and Bernardo Silva. The corner goes all the way back towards the edge of the area, driven in by Valverde. It wasn't far off because it grazed the outside of the net and it forced Ederson all the way across to his right post.
For all the talk of the attacking players on the pitch, I doubt anybody strikes the ball as well from range as Valverde does. And he actually hits that on target and it takes a big deflection. It could have caused a problem for Ederson.
Another Real Madrid corner from the far side, their left. Right-footed in-swinger from Ceballos, headed out by Kusanov to the edge of the area. Good work by the Manchester City defence, but they can't retain possession of the ball, and that's the problem they're having now. The last 10 minutes or so, they've really struggled to get a foot on the ball.
Well, the problem there was, Mike, that it was Marmoush who won the ball on the edge of the area. He looked up, there was nobody ahead of him because he's the centre-forward, but he actually did really well on the edge of the box there, defensively.
Federico Valverde has put a terrific crossfield ball over to Vinicius Junior, and Kusanov initially missed it, similarly to what Ruben Dias did for the goal. He stooped forward, didn't make contact, but he got away with it in the end.
Paris Saint-Germain lead Brest by 1-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate. A ball into the left channel, run onto by Bradley Barcola. A touch that took him infield, it was just onside. He darted into the box, took a touch, defender got in front of him, stepped away from him and just clipped it into the near post. Lovely goal from Bradley Barcola. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Brest 0, 4-0 on aggregate. It's still goalless in Eindhoven, by the way. PSV Juventus, Juve 2-1 on up at aggregate.
Real Madrid are coming forward into the area on the left. Bellingham twisting and turning his way around Kusanov, and City concede yet another corner kick. 1-0 Real Madrid lead, 4-2 on aggregate.
Building momentum here, and they're attacking that Manchester City right. They're trying to take on Husanov as often as they can at the moment. Bellingham coming across to try and make the overloads. City have to somehow find a way through this spell.
We're at the midway point of the first half. Another corner swung into that near post. Ederson punches it away. It lands at the feet of Valverde. A terrific first touch by the Real Madrid captain. It's now on the right-hand angle of the penalty area with Mbappe. Back down this near side to Valverde, and infield to Ceballos. There just seems to be somebody there in a white shirt. Whenever someone gets the ball, there's always someone offering themselves.
The goal has really settled them down because now they know they can try and draw Manchester City out, try and either hit them over the top with their pace or try and play through them with combinations. They know there's going to be a spell where City are going to have to push, and they'll be quite content with that because they know they're one of the best counter-attacking teams on the planet. So at the moment, all the cards stacked in Real Madrid's favour.
And City are really struggling to get a foothold in this game. Real Madrid have it on the near side. Tchouameni infield to Bellingham. That was wonderful. that was showboating for the last 20 minutes, not the first 20 or so minutes.
I think that's where Carlo Ancelotti will just keep an eye on it and want them to. You want to enjoy yourself, you want to express yourself, you want to. Oh, nearly gave it away on the edge of his own area there, but you want to show the opposition that you're in control, that you're calm. But it's just watching that line that it doesn't tip over. But at the moment, they look supremely confident, and City are chasing shadows.
Marmoush has just stood on the foot of Raul Asensio, who's gone down injured. It was his ball over the top, which allowed Kylian Mbappe the time to lob it over Ederson for the opening goal inside the 4th minute.
I don't feel I've talked enough about how good that ball is from Asensio, because actually if Toni Kroos had played that last season, we'd have been absolutely raving about that. That was a Kroos special, because he has time, he has space, he just hits it beautifully. He couldn't have picked a better spot for Mbappe. It was a wonderful pass.
Real Madrid coming forward across the halfway line with Vinicius Junior, who then plays it to the left. Mbappe, a narrow angle coming into the penalty area. 2, 3, 4 step overs. Right foot to the back post. Oh, it almost makes it to a totally unmarked Valverde, who recycles it on the near side. Ceballos just outside the box on the Real Madrid left, but it's a short pass picked off by Marmoush. But just like earlier when he won the ball on the edge of the area, he looks up. There's nobody ahead of him. There's no Erling Haaland.
They're struggling to break out, Mike, at the moment, but Ake did brilliantly a few moments ago, because had he not got that headed touch, then Valverde was completely free at the far post, and that's because Mbappe, with all that skill, had drawn so many players towards him. Real Madrid's enjoying themselves, but also playing some really slick football at the moment.
Makes you wonder whether a Jack Grealish out wide or a Kevin De Bruyne might be an option, even at half-time.
I think the players they have on the pitch are fine. I think it's just about trying to keep possession, trying to get the likes of Foden, Savinho on the ball so they can start committing Real Madrid players. They just haven't had enough spells like what we're seeing now, Mike, which is City on the ball, trying to move Real around and just do it with a bit more conviction, but they've had few spells like this.
Manchester City on possession of the ball, trailed by a goal to nil on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. Bernardo Silva towards this left flank, Gvardiol back into the Portuguese, who can't get it because Rodrigo is in there first to win it off him, and Real Madrid turning the ball over once or twice in recent minutes. Manchester City have got to be so careful. They're going to have to be very efficient. They can't afford to waste possession.
You just have to keep going, and you have to believe that you can play your way through, because now the risk-reward calculation is, okay, well, do we commit more men forwards and do we leave gaps at the back? But you can't play with that kind of fear, because the only way to get back in is to play with a bit of personality, have possession and force Real back the other way. If you just wait and hope, Real will pick you off anyway. So you've got to go for it to some extent.
Gundogan out to Foden on the far side, the City right, infield to the Germany international Ilkay Gundogan. Tries to play it forward towards Marmoush, but in steps Rodrigo, who's fouled. I don't think we're far off a yellow card, Kevin Hatchard. In fact, there it is.
There you go, Mike Stradamus.
Ilkay Gundogan, the first one to go in referee Kovac's notebook.
Tchouaméni had done really well to win the ball in the first instance, played it into Rodrigo's path, and Rodrigo was about to move through the gears, and Gundogan just moving across his path, making sure that he couldn't break. Tactical foul, I think they call it.
He's not one of the players on the brink of a suspension. In fact, Manchester City only have one player who, if they got a yellow card tonight, would be suspended for the next game, should they get through, and that's Ruben Diaz, whereas Real Madrid have got 6 players and many of their midfielders. So if they were to go through, the last thing they want is to lose even one, certainly more, of the players who currently walk that tightrope.
You asked me about Rudiger earlier, Mike. One of the big byproducts of him being back in central defence is Tchouaméni now in that midfield area. He's been excellent so far. He's been hoovering up the loose ball in midfield. He's been progressing beyond that first line of City pressure as well.
And he's lifted the ball over the top for Mbappe, edge of the area. This time he goes for the volley from a similar position from where he lobbed Ederson. This time the goalkeeper saves, but it was a well-struck shot, and a lesser goalkeeper may well have got caught out.
Lovely ball from Tchouaméni, and again, Mbappe can just wait for it, bounces in front of him, and he hits it truly. Same you'd expect Ederson to make, but it's still a good one. But again, City will be a bit concerned that that ball over the top is causing them some issues.
We're approaching the half-hour mark. You're listening to UEFA Champions League Matchday Live. The voice you heard just then is that of our European expert, Kevin Hatchard. Manchester City are trailing by a goal to nil. Kylian Mbappe continuing his fantastic run of form in front of goal has given Real Madrid the advantage on the night and increased it on aggregate as they come forward from the left. Vinicius tries to deftly play it through to Rodrigo. It was well read by Manchester City, who have to now work their way out of their own penalty area. Ederson calmly left-footed it down the line to the near side. It's going to be a long night for Marmoush.
It is, but Asensio, considering his lack of experience, considering what a young player he is, the way that he has slotted into this team, the way that he's adapted is really quite sensational. When you think that, you know, they've really needed him. Rudiger's been out, David Alaba's been out long term, and this young man has had to come into this team to play for one of the biggest clubs on the planet, and he's done it as if he's been doing it all his life. It's really quite remarkable. It's similar in a way to what Pau Cubarsí has done for Barcelona, really, in the sense that he's come into the first team for a huge club and performed straight away.
And he only turned 22 last week. As Phil Foden goes down and Pep Guardiola approaches the fourth official, Horacio Fechnit, to complain about the challenge on him by Ferland Mendy. I don't know if it was intentional, it was clumsy, and he caught him with his shoulder. And down went Foden and wins the free kick. We're just watching a replay of the ball over the top by Tchouaméni. It was well struck by Mbappe, wasn't it? But he didn't quite have the angle he needed to beat Ederson.
Yeah, because Tchouaméni's hit it with the outside of his boot, the spin on the ball takes it away from goal. So all Mbappe could do really is just try and get as good a contact on it as he can. So the angle's always in Ederson's favour, but again, it's a ball over the top. Who would have thought it? Real Madrid route one. Imagine that. But it's worked, and they've attacked in lots of different ways. They've recognised the gaps in that Manchester City rearguard, and they are causing problems.
Well, route one might be a route to the round of 16. As it is, Real Madrid are the ones heading there. The draw for the round of 16, incidentally, is on Friday to determine who plays who in the round of 16. The winners of this tie will play either Atletico or Bayer Leverkusen, so we could have a Madrid derby.
Tie there.
That's normally a final as well.
It's amazing, this format, because not only has it added the extra jeopardy in the league phase, but it's given us some amazing playoffs. And you look at the potential of what we could get just in the last 16 alone, and there are some incredible ties potentially. So, you know, all the way along, just the pure jeopardy of this, that we're going to lose one of Real Madrid and Manchester City before we even get to the last 16. But I think the way the league phase has worked out, the way this is working out, I think does underline the fun in this new format, absolutely.
It's as if UEFA have picked up a can of soda, shaken it up, and then just opened it, and it's just, everything's gone in different directions, and it's been so unpredictable. It's been fascinating to watch since match day one. Here are Real Madrid now on the near side with Valverde into Bellingham, who slots it down the line on the near side to Vinicius Junior. Back in it goes Rodrigo. Hesitation on the part of Kusanov. Mbappe! It's another goal for the Frenchman. And Manchester City didn't deal with the threat of either him or Rodrigo, and they've been punished. And as it stands, they are heading out of the Champions League. Real Madrid in total control at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. They lead 2-0 on the night, 5-2 on aggregate.
Scintillating football of the highest calibre. Great movement, great passing, great awareness of where teammates are. And City just couldn't live with them. It's great control from Rodrigo in the first place, but Bellingham makes a really smart run. He sees that Vinicius has made the run down the right, tries to return it to Rodrigo. It's not the best pass, actually, but Rodrigo is so smart, so aware. He just tickles it through the legs of Husanov, and then Mbappe's still got a bit to do. So he takes the touch inside the challenge of Gvardiol and then smashes it beyond Ederson. That is a world-class team goal.
The Manchester City defence was drawn to it like a magnet, and that meant that Kusanov was overloaded by Rodrigo and Mbappe, creating the space for Mbappe to score.
And this is what they do so well, because it's not just, oh, he's on the left, he's on the right, he's through the middle. You get Rodrigo popping up twice in the move. You get Mbappe, who's pulled into that inside left channel. You've got Bellingham just making a run from midfield off the back of players. It's so difficult to track, it's so difficult to contain. And when Mbappe was brought in to be the extra piece, people looked at it and said, could you get the balance right? Could you get all of these talents to work together? Well, there's your evidence right there that it can work.
Well, the fact that Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. are effectively playing on the left, both players were on the right for that move, and that's where it all began. And Real Madrid have won the ball back from City inside the City half. Mbappe, the confidence is oozing through Real Madrid. Tries to play one around the corner, doesn't quite come off. What do Manchester City do now? We just got a glimpse of Pep Guardiola puffing out his cheeks, wondering what can he do. He's got 10 minutes until the break. It's going to be an important half-time team talk, although his team are attacking now. Marmoush left edge of the area, two in the middle. Brilliant tackle by Raul Asensio.
He's been so good, by the way, Asensio. But that all comes from a direct run by Savinho, and they haven't been able to do that enough in this first half. They haven't been able to commit men to the challenge and open up spaces, and that's, you know, it's not even trickery really from Savinho. He's just identified the space and used his pace to go into it. They have to try and do that more often.
Corner kick to Manchester City. It's on their left, the near side as we look, but it'll be a right-footed in-swinger from Omar Marmoush. City have some of their taller players forward, like Ake. In it comes from the Egyptian. Gundogan tried the flick on, but it doesn't make its way any further. And City get the throw-in on the near side. 9 minutes until we've had 45 of this second leg in the knockout phase playoffs. Quite astonishing to think that these two teams are playing at this stage of the competition. If you'd have had a prediction, you'd have said they'd have been calmly through a year ago with a different format.
But I think what we've seen with City, Mike, is what we've seen in so many games, that the press isn't quite there at the moment for various reasons. They've had so many injury problems.
Good cross from the right, which Gundogan flicks on, thinking that Gvardiol was further forward than he was. Rodrigo goes down under a challenge. And Gvardiol hangs his head in disappointment. The ball was running out to the touchline, and clearly Gvardiol took out Rodrigo, made no effort to go for the ball.
I think one of the keys to this game, as it's worn on in this first half, is Rodrigo has really grown into it. I think what they were trying to do, Manchester City, in the early part of it, was get Joško Gvardiol really high up on the left so he could pin Rodrigo back, make it really difficult for him to join in with those Real Madrid attacks. But as the half has worn on, he's been more and more and more influential, and Gvardiol's not been able to stick with him.
Valverde, right-footed into the centre circle. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 0 on the night. 5-2 on aggregate. We have another yellow card. This one's for Jude Bellingham, who was sent off against Osasuna in La Liga at the weekend. Phil Foden was on the end of a challenge. His England teammate, he left his foot in, Bellingham.
Yeah, it was just
why he's got the card.
It was just a bouncy first touch, Mike, and it just gets away from him, and he's just trying to recover it. Foden manages to nip in, and he just catches him. But having spoken to the referee at the weekend and not had the greatest consequence, I think he maybe decided discretion was the better part of valour and didn't talk at all there after that decision.
That said, that yellow card means that he will miss the next game, assuming Real Madrid get through. He'll miss the first leg of the round of 16 against either Atletico or Bayer Leverkusen, and that's why he had that disappointing look on his face when he realised he got a yellow card tonight. So one of the 6 players won't be featuring in the next round. That's assuming we don't see a remarkable Manchester City comeback in the next hour or so.
I mean, they have the players on the pitch, they have the attacking talent to do it, but the issue is structural at the moment, because I talked about that press. We've seen it in Paris, we've seen it in other away. We saw it in Turin when they lost to Juventus. They found it really difficult to really affect teams with the press, and it's been too easy to play through them, and there are various reasons for that. I mentioned all the physical ones, all of the injuries that they've had, and when that has been so successful for them for so long starts malfunctioning, it's really hard, as you know, humans which they are, to not lose a bit of confidence. So they're just wrestling with that a bit as well. But also Real Madrid have been outstanding.
Only one home defeat in the UEFA Champions League in the last 17 at the Santiago Bernabeu. Milan won in November. Real Madrid have won 13 of those 17 games. That's the task that awaited City before this game even kicked off, let alone with a 1-goal disadvantage increased to 2 and now 3. City have to score 3 more goals to stand a chance of taking this to extra time and possibly penalties. And so far they haven't threatened.
No, and Real have got good shape actually without the ball. They've just had Tchouaméni and Ceballos through the middle, just blocking off those passing lanes. Back 4 have held together really well. Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham and Rodrigo just trying to engage when necessary but not overcommit, and City are finding it difficult to play their way through.
Nico Gonzalez on the right for Manchester City. The ball has struck him on the way out, to his frustration, the former Barcelona midfielder. So it's going to be a Real Madrid goal kick. Just getting a look at an off-the-ball incident where Kylian Mbappe had his shirt tugged by Nico Gonzalez. 2-0 on the night, 5-2, Real Madrid lead on aggregate.
Paris Saint-Germain have scored their 2nd goal of the night. Kvaratskhelia with it. It was a low cross on the right that was flicked towards the back post, and from the tightest of angles, he somehow managed to squeeze it into the back of the net. His first Champions League goal since joining Paris Saint-Germain in the summer. Says Paris Saint-Germain 2, Brest 0, 5-0 on aggregate. They will be in the round of 16. Elsewhere in Eindhoven in the Netherlands, it's PSV 0, Juventus 0, Juve 2-1 up on aggregate. Randal Colomwani with an excellent chance, played in behind, just couldn't quite work the ball past the keeper, dribbled past the post, so it's still 0-0 there.
So Real Madrid in control, both in terms of the scoreline and the play, as Valverde brings it forward, unchallenged, into centre field. It's too strong a pass for Mbappe to get on the end of, and now Ake for Manchester City plays it short to Gundogan, just inside the City half, central. Nico, likewise Real Madrid not pressing, just allowing City to have possession of the ball and being disciplined in their formation, packing it in rather narrowly to not allow City space. We know that City like to drop in behind midfields. They like to play these balls through other teams, but the way Real Madrid is so compact, it just doesn't allow them to do that.
You're absolutely right, and Carlo Ancelotti talked about this after the first leg, how well his team had played out of possession, how well they defended. And they've done it again this evening. There isn't much space between the lines. City finding it really difficult to open up those gaps.
They have it though, midway inside the Real Madrid half. Savinho slips over though, and the ball is back in Real Madrid's possession, and Manchester City have to regroup. But Real Madrid, given their 2-goal advantage on the night and the 3-goal advantage overall, are in no hurry.
No, and they've done that really well in this first half. They've played the game at their pace, and they've had it on their terms really from the moment that Mbappe scored. And there is a real skill to that, about not overcommitting, about not getting overexcited. You choose your moments, and when you have this quality on the field, you can do that.
It's with Rodrigo. Excellent footwork initially before Gvardiol steps in and wins it back for City. Here's Ake. 2 minutes of normal time left at the end of the first half. There's not a lot of movement ahead of Nathan Ake. He's urging his teammates to give him something, to show him something, but they're rather static at the moment. Guardiol moves forward. We're now out on this near side, the City left with Bernardo Silva. And it's probably the way in which Real Madrid are playing, the way they're defending. City just not that, what shall I say, assertive selves, are they?
They're trying to pick their way through, but as we mentioned, if you're that compact and you're closing off all those passing lanes and the movement is not as sharp as maybe we would often see from Manchester City, then it's difficult to actually open up those gaps. And one-on-one, Real have defended really well.
City throwing in the final minute of the first half. There will be some additional time. John Stones was injured early on and was down for a few moments, as is İlkay Gundogan now. He's fouled near the left-hand angle of the penalty area by Dani Ceballos, who left his foot in. He did try to retract it, but it was too late, and he caught the German.
But that's better. Just to surge onto the ball, just a little burst of pace, just to try and stretch Real Madrid. And if you can win a free kick around the penalty area, just give yourself a breather. They have the technique, they have the quality to try and keep possession and try and make those runs and put Real on the back foot.
Free kick for City. Thibaut Courtois is arranging the wall in front of him. Go left, go right. There's only two in the wall. Vinicius Junior and Aurelien Tchouameni. 2 minutes of added time to come. We're into the first of those. Free kick from the left is going to be taken by Foden towards the back post. And Guardiol ducked. Whether he had a call from Nathan Ake or not, I would have thought he was in a better position to head it. He was unmarked.
I'm actually really surprised that Marmoush didn't have a go for that, because he's hit some beautiful free kicks this season. It was offside. I think both Guardiol and Ake were just offside, but it was slightly wide. It was a bit far out, but Marmoush can really hit them. And he hits them with swerve as well. And I know he's not been in the club that long, but he did get a hat-trick at the weekend, so maybe he could have tried to resist the pulling of rank there. But I think every opportunity they get in and around the penalty area with those kind of set pieces, got to make the most of them. Got to try and put real quality into the penalty area, because again, they've got the height in there. They've got players they can target.
They're moving the ball quite nicely here, out towards the far side there, right. Savinho to the angle of the area, then square to Nico, who goes back out to the far side to find Kusanov, and then has to go back down the line to captain Ruben Dias. Now Ake. City running out of time at the end of this first half. If they could get a goal now, it would give them a huge boost going into the break. But as it is, it's won back by Ceballos, who steers it back into the City half, wasting precious Manchester City seconds.
I'll be really interested to see what Pep Guardiola does at half-time and how he decides to attack this, because you have to go for it, that you have to take more risks, because just has to be a bit more speed in the play. I mean, I keep coming back to it, but it is true. The quality is out there on the pitch. They have players who can really one-on-one do damage to the opposition, but they just haven't committed enough opposition players so far.
Manchester City trailing to those two Kylian Mbappe goals in the first half of this second leg, giving Real Madrid a very comfortable lead as we approach half-time. Mbappe's 13 goals in 11 games now as the half-time whistle goes, and Real Madrid have this advantage, and it's not been the fervent, vibrant occasion we expect. Over the top from the Asensio long ball, and then his second goal after a wonderful team move worked through midfield out to half, not the same that started. Manchester City were forced into an early change when Ake had to come on for the injured John Stones. Real Madrid play the ball back towards Ferland Mendy on this near side, playing in the left-back position. Real Madrid in all white, attacking the goal away to the left in this second half. Manchester City in a wine red, would you say, Kevin Hatchard?
A maroon, maybe.
Maroon, maybe, yeah. I was trying to make it a little bit more sophisticated than maroon. My school uniform...
You know me, Mike. Many things, sophisticated is not one of them.
Well, my school uniform was maroon, so it's always put me off saying the word maroon. But Real Madrid have possession of the ball now. I'll run through the two lineups in a moment. Courtois, dressed in sky blue, hits it long down the far side, the Real Madrid right. Ake and Guardiola wait for it to drop. What does City need to do now, Kevin, to, well, I say turn this around? Can they turn it around? Can they work their way back in, and what do they have to do that?
Need to play with more belief when they're in possession. They need to try and commit men. Need to get Foden on the ball, need to get Savinho on the ball. They haven't done that quite enough so far. Look, they're in a hole, there's no doubt about it, but they have to take some risks and have to believe that they can get the next goal. Now, if you get that first goal in this second half, then you're suddenly within two. If you get the next one, this place starts getting nervy. So they have enough quality and experience and personality to do it. It's just a question of whether they can put all that together. But Real, I have to say, with and without the ball, have been outstanding. It's not been about City's failings as much as it's been about Real's quality. I think they've been really good so far.
Well, City failed there, and Nico Gonzalez lost the ball. Vinicius tried to get away from him, and all he did was hold on to his shirt, and I think even his shorts, and has earned himself a yellow card. That was pure frustration. He literally had hold of Vinicius Junior's shorts.
He didn't need to do it either, because he had Husanov coming across to cover, and he's on halfway, Nico Gonzalez. But I think, as you say, it's just instinct, isn't it, that kicks in. And you don't often see that from him. He's quite unflappable often in midfield. Certainly that was the case at the weekend in the Premier League game against Newcastle, but you don't come up against Vinicius Junior every day, do you?
You don't. 2.5 minutes played in the second half. The lineups: Thibaut Courtois is on the ball now in goal for Real Madrid. Valverde, Asensio, Rudiger and Mendy at the back. Ceballos, Tchouaméni and Bellingham in midfield. Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior on either side of the goal scorer, Kylian Mbappe, who has 2 goals this evening to add to the one that he scored in the first leg. Manchester City, Ederson in goal, Kusanov, Ake, Diaz and Guardiola at the back, Nico Gonzalez and Gundogan in midfield, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden and Savinho in support of Omar Mamouche. And it's City who have possession now inside the Real Madrid half, attacking the goal away to the right. Savinho trying to get away from Tchouaméni, but that was a terrific tackle by the Real Madrid midfielder, and it's turned defence into attack. Mbappe trying to trick his way past Ake. Now it's with Mendy, it's on the halfway line with Bellingham, and they've just slipped back into their first half routine, Real Madrid.
Having Tchouaméni in midfield is so beneficial for them, because he's been forced to play centre-back a lot this season, but he's so good in that number 6 role.
Real Madrid 10 metres outside the penalty area towards the left with Mbappe, who's on a hat-trick, short to Bellingham at the D. He plays it out to the far side, the right. Back in by Ceballos. Rodrigo got underneath the shot, but really nicely worked move by Real Madrid. Similar sort of possession and passing to the second goal.
I think by Rodrigo's standards, he'll be a bit disappointed about that, because he gets the ball just inside the area. And how many times have we seen him find the top corner from there? Just gets underneath it, leaning back a little. A player of his almost impossibly high standards will have expected to hit the target.
Scores elsewhere currently. It's Paris Saint-Germain 2, Brest 0, 5-0 on aggregate. It's still PSV Juventus goalless tonight, with Juve 2-1 up on aggregate. You may remember we said PSV hadn't had a shot on target in the first half. They've already had one. Ivan Perisic, brilliant crisp drive, saved by the keeper after a good spell of pressure. And then Noah Lang was just played into the left-hand channel, left side of the box, thumped it into the side netting. So PSV putting the squeeze on the Italian side. PSV 0, Juventus 0, Juve 2-1 up on aggregate.
Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 0 here. 5-2 they lead on aggregate. Real Madrid, the 15 times winners of this competition, including twice in the last 3 seasons. They've never won it in a season ending in 5, though. There's my pointless stat for the evening.
There's a challenge.
Yeah, I don't know. I was doing my research and I don't know why. I suddenly thought, have they ever won it in a year that ends in a 5?
See, that's what marks out the very best commentators you see, Mike.
Or possibly the opposite of that. Vinicius Junior tries to get away from Ruben Dias. Dias plays it out to the far side, picked up by Vinicius again. Ceballos is in close quarters, so is Valverde. Vinicius under pressure from Dias, forced out to the far side. A Real Madrid throw-in, but it would just suit Real Madrid down to the ground if they can keep the ball inside the City half.
Well, it's just a real calm about them. They feel like they're in control of this game. They feel like they're in control of the tie, and the way they've played with and without the ball, they deserve to have that position because they've been largely ruthless in attack. I think Tchouaméni and Ceballos have covered the back four exceptionally well, made it really difficult for City to break through.
Mbappe using his turn of pace to get away from Nico Gonzalez. City trying to avoid it going out for a corner. In fact, it was kept in by Kusanov and then put straight back out by Ruben Dias. City just cannot get going.
It's when there's threats from everywhere. It's so difficult, and when they're at you again and again and again, it can be so difficult in an atmosphere like this to actually keep that composure, even for a team that has been as successful as Manchester City.
It's been a very difficult season for the English Premier League champions. They might be letting their crown go. Well, they probably will be letting their crown go at the end of the season when it comes to domestic football. And they might be going out of the Champions League as well. Real Madrid have it, centre field. Rodrigo, left foot shot, that's a better effort, although it was straight at Ederson. One Brazilian testing out another, and he's there to pick up the loose ball. Left side, near side as we look, with Vinicius. Turns onto his left foot, back onto his right foot. Towards the edge of the area, it's flicked away by Marmoush. I mean, he's so deep, Marmoush. I mean, he was just on the edge of his own area. Nobody else in a maroon shirt further forward.
Because they're being forced back so much, and even when he does win it, he looks up and there's nobody there alongside him. But great work from Rodrigo, by the way. Lost the ball, won it back straight away.
Oh, it's a dangerous ball right across the face of the Manchester City goal, which is cleared well by Dias. Real Madrid will come again from the right. Tchouaméni tries to clip it over the top. It's gone out towards the left-back position for City. They still cannot get the ball clear. They have, though, won a free kick for a foul on Josko Gvardiol. I just sense the way the second half has started. Surely Pep Guardiola's got to go for broke.
I think they're trying to some extent. I think they are trying to turn Real round. I think we saw it when you had that run from Foden and Savinho was trying to break forward, and then Tchouaméni out of nowhere, one of those long legs, just snaking around and winning the ball. City just cannot get through this Real Madrid team, and you look at the way they're working. Rodrigo working incredibly hard without the ball. Every time there's a break into midfield, Foden's just gone into midfield. Who's he run into? Ceballos. It's so difficult, and sometimes Bellingham drops in with Ceballos and Tchouaméni, and there's a bank of 3 players you're trying to break through. It's really difficult.
9 minutes of the second half played. Real Madrid 2, both goals scored by Kylian Mbappe. Manchester City 0 on the night. Real Madrid lead 5-2 on aggregate. They will play either Atletico Madrid or Bayer Leverkusen in the round of 16, the winners of this tie. And at the moment, it looks odds on it's Real Madrid.
And if it is, it'll either be a Madrid derby or it'll be Real Madrid coming up against their old midfielder Xabi Alonso. Be fascinating either way, but not finished yet. But City need to find some kind of cohesion. They're finding it so difficult to even start a move, let alone finish one, because Real are at them every single time.
Pep Guardiola's done away with the jacket. He's just wearing his sweater now, pacing up and down his technical area as Manchester City have a throw-in on the far side, with Guardiola playing it back to Ake. Ake looking around for options. There isn't a great deal of movement, but there is space for Nico Gonzalez in central midfield. Turns onto his right boot, plays it back to his central midfield partner İlkay Gündoğan, and then via Foden it goes back to Ake. Really good pressing from Real Madrid, particularly on Mbappe and Bellingham, and forcing City into a quick ball forward that they don't want to play.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And they lose possession.
That was outstanding because they just stayed in their four in midfield. So Bellingham went out to the left, Rodrigo on the right, and then when the chance came to press, bang, they were there. Pressing is about that. It's about watching for those triggers whenever you can.
PSV Eindhoven have the lead tonight. Goal from Ivan Perisic, and what a goal from PSV Eindhoven. It's 2-2 on aggregate now. Noah Lang, who's been the spark for PSV in the second half, with a brilliant dribble from the left side of the pitch over the halfway line, cut in from the left, and then played the most unbelievable pass. The cut out about 4 Juventus defenders to the right side of the area. Perisic, take, bobbles up, volley, bottom corner, 2-2. That game is headed for extra time and will bring you extra time, if needed, on Matchday Live.
11 minutes of the second half have passed. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 0 on the night. 5-2, Real Madrid lead on aggregate. City have to score 3 times without reply to take this to extra time, and they're coming forward now, but again it's wasteful from Guardiola. Real Madrid snuff it out and come forward now across the halfway line with Rodrigo towards this left side. In it goes to his fellow Brazilian Vinicius, and then there's acres and acres of space on the right for Federico Valverde, and Kylian Mbappe was literally centimetres away from a hat-trick as he lunged in to try and convert the low, pacey ball. He was marginally offside. He got a touch, but so did Ederson.
Brilliant goalkeeping, really brave. He spreads himself here at Mbappe's feet. He knows he's going to get clattered. He knows that contact's coming. It's a super ball in by Valverde. And I think you're right, Mike. I think he's marginally offside, but Ederson didn't know that. And actually, I think they're going to get the corner anyway.
Quick update from France, where it's Paris Saint-Germain 2, Brest 0, 5-0 on aggregate. Brest nearly just got their first goal of the tie. Smacked a shot against the post, and then moments later, their captain, Brendan Chardonnay, with a brilliant header, and it was going low into the bottom corner. Gianluigi Donnarumma clawed it out with his right hand to keep it 2-0. They're looking for that clean sheet. Paris Saint-Germain will surely be in the draw. And a reminder, PSV 1, Juventus 0, 2-2 on aggregate. That one is going the distance as things stand.
Kylian Mbappe was down for a few moments after that. He was complaining about his left shin, and he's actually come off the pitch for a moment to see if he can continue. They brought a stretcher over. I don't think that's required, but he's obviously taken a knock clashing with Ederson. But a thumbs up from the Real Madrid physio means that Mbappe will eventually come back on for his team's corner. He's going to have to wait as it goes right into the heart of the goalmouth. It's plucked out of the air by Ederson, who made that really good save from the Frenchman. And now City at pace coming forward on the near side of the field with Savinho taking on Rudiger, playing it square just outside the area. That's a foul, is it not, on Marmoush? No. Referee. Let's play continue. Ake to the left-hand angle of the box, away to our right. Gündoğan, City working it well. Short, sharp passing, keeping possession of the ball. Guardiola from the left, short into Gündoğan, 25 metres out. Back out to Guardiola again, just inside the angle of the penalty area. Now Gündoğan makes a little surge, but checks. The ball is still in the same area of the field. Guardiola, this time there's space. Gündoğan from the left, cross is brilliantly blocked by Valverde. It's a corner to Manchester City.
That City spell, Mike, all comes from exactly what we've talked about all night, which is getting their flair players on the ball. Savinho makes a really good run down the right, takes a few players out. Ceballos suddenly out of the game, and then that opens up space. That's what they need to do. They need to try and get those situations where they can run one-on-one against these Real Madrid players.
Corner for City as we approach the hour mark in Madrid. Marmouche takes it. Too close to Thibaut Courtois, and a man of his stature and his height is easily going to take that out of the air, and he releases Rodrigo down centre field. Vinicius Junior to the left. Mbappe is waiting over on the far side of the penalty area in a little bit of space. Phil Foden is covering the left back position because Guardiola's in central defence at the moment. There's space for Mbappe. Just on the edge of the area, left-footed shot, low. It is the hat-trick goal from Kylian Mbappe, and that surely now puts this game to rest. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0 on the night. All 3 goals scored by Kylian Mbappe. They lead 6-2 on aggregate.
And he showed exactly why he's one of the world's best players, because he can do something as magical as that in the blink of an eye. Little step over to buy himself the space, and the finish on his left foot. He's unerring into that bottom corner. Ederson at full stretch, gets nowhere near it. They worked it really smartly. City were just trying to keep their shape. Valverde, who's been excellent at right back, just finds Mbappe, and he's away from Foden. Just that little trick. Foden thinks he's going to his left side, and he comes infield instead. And it's a really accurate finish. He has scored 3 sensational goals, 3 very different goals, but they've done the same amount of damage to City. And he has shown just why Real Madrid wanted to bring him in, and just why he is so highly regarded. He has been stellar, but most importantly, Mike, he's been part of a world-class team performance.
7 UEFA Champions League goals this season for Kylian Mbappe, 27 across all competitions, and 14 in his last 11 games.
I thought he'd apparently taken a while to settle in and get going, hadn't he?
Not if you look at those statistics.
Like yeah.
And he's got 4 goals across this tie, which, well, it seems an impossible task now, even with half an hour remaining. Manchester City have to score 4 times, and they've yet to trouble Thibaut Courtois to any extent. And even then, as Nico Gonzalez tries to make it into the area, Bellingham takes the ball off him, and you can sense that Nico's getting very frustrated.
It's really difficult for City, because this now is an almost impossible situation, but it's their season in microcosm, in the sense that the things that they're normally able to do, control games, dictate the pace of games, just simply aren't possible for them at the moment. And Real Madrid have made best use of that. I mean, Real in this form, even City at full capacity, might have found it tough. But this is tricky for them. They've had so many injury problems, and that's just created this chain reaction, and this is what you see now. So, you know, Real have been absolutely outstanding, but City, with so many players injured, we're just not seeing the best version of them at the moment.
And of course, Erling Haaland is only on the bench tonight. There's been no sign of him possibly coming on. He picked up a knock against Newcastle at the weekend. He was a surprise omission from the starting lineup tonight. Our guess is that he's not fully fit, and he's only there in case City needed him late on, but there seems little point now, unless City were able to score a couple of goals, for him to get involved.
Yeah, and from Guardiola's language beforehand, it did seem as though they weren't going to get him involved, because he wasn't quite right. He picked up that knock at the weekend.
Here are City, midway inside the Real Madrid half, away to our right. Gundogan urging Nico to come short for the ball, and it's played out to this near side, the City right. Bernardo Silva up against Ferland Mendy, left-footed, just outside the box. Nico again. Now Kusanov. City being forced back. Everybody in a white shirt is behind the ball, as Bernardo Silva has it again on the right side. At the angle of the penalty area with Gundogan. This is very careful stuff from City, but it's not really getting them anywhere.
No, and Real have played so well without the ball. I mean, we don't always associate them with that, do we? We think about all of that quality they have going forwards. But actually, across the 2 legs, actually, even though they conceded a couple of goals in Manchester last week, I thought they had a structure about them. They defended with real diligence at times, and they've done it again this evening. It's been a terrific effort, 1-11.
Real Madrid have it. with Antonio Rudiger back in the team, the only change from the first leg. Now Ceballos on the halfway line. The Real Madrid fans in full voice inside the Santiago Bernabeu. Almost 20 minutes played in the second half. They lead 3-0 on the night, 6-2 on aggregate.
Yeah, Paris Saint-Germain are now 4-0 up on Brest after Vitinha had made it 3-0 just prior to the hour. But a lovely flowing move has seen the French side get in here, and Doué on the 64th minute, effectively with a tap-in, has made it 4-0. Juventus have the ball in the net, by the way, through a Timothy Weah strike. VAR check underway at the moment, and a goal's been given. Juventus have scored an equaliser. It looked like it was ruled out initially for offside, but on review, the Juve goal stands. So it's PSV 1, Juve 1, Timothy Weah from distance, 3-2 on aggregate now to the Bianconeri.
6-2 on aggregate here, thanks to a hat-trick from Kylian Mbappe. And Real Madrid are coming forward again on the left side, near side as we look. Vinicius sliding in to put the ball out for a throw is Kusanov. It's going to be a long half hour or so for Manchester City, unless there's a miraculous turnaround in this game. Real Madrid couldn't be in control any more than they are, although they have given a ball away there. Commentators curse. Foden spots that Courtois off his line, but the shot is, well, let's be kind, it wasn't on target.
It's been a tough night for Phil Foden because he's just not been able to get into those areas where he can really do damage to Real Madrid. He relies on City being in control of games, really, so they can keep giving him the ball in dangerous areas, he can keep on running at people, keep on trying to make things happen, and it just hasn't been the case that he's had that service so far. But I think, you know, these City players have to internalise this and use it as fuel, because I have no doubt they'll be back again next season, so it's about using this experience.
They're trying to attack now inside the Real Madrid penalty area through Marmoush, but excellent defensive work by Valverde. Denies City any opportunity. They've yet to have a shot on target, Manchester City.
How good a right-back is Valverde when you consider that he shouldn't be playing there in the first place? He's a midfielder, and he's been absolutely outstanding at right-back. I mean, he's one of the best midfielders in the world, so it's not maybe a massive surprise that he can turn his hand to playing in that right-back area, but so many good performances tonight. What's interesting, David Alaba has been out for so long with injury. The temptation normally would be, well, as soon as he's fit, we put him back in the team. You don't need to do that now because Asensio's been so good. You can really manage Alaba's minutes and just gently ease him back in, and there won't be a massive drop-off because Asensio, as we said in the first half, it's like he's played for Real Madrid all his life. It's absolutely extraordinary.
Alaba, of course, out for 13 months with an ACL injury. He came back, but then missed 5 games with an adductor problem, but he's on the bench for this game. We're past the midway point of the second half. Real Madrid running the show. 3-0 they lead on the night, 6-2 on aggregate. You're listening to UEFA Champions League Match Day Live. It's a knockout phase playoff tie, the second leg. Real Madrid heading for the round of 16, where they may well come up against their city rivals Atletico. The draw is on Friday.
I think what's been really interesting about tonight's game, Mike, and actually probably over the 2 legs of this, if you look at the recent game in La Liga against Atletico, they drew that game 1-1, they had chances to win it, but they felt vulnerable on the counter pretty much all the way through, and Atleti did make some chances. I haven't felt that tonight, and I haven't felt it over the 2 legs. There's been a real structure to Real's game, and I think this is something they can use as a template. This is something they can take forward. They're in a very tight title race in La Liga. If they play like this, it won't be tight for very much longer.
Currently second on goal difference to Barcelona due to the fact that they dropped 2 points against Osasuna at the weekend. Mbappe scored in that game as well. Bellingham, who was sent off in that match, steers a wonderful ball out to the far side for Rodrigo, who brings it down with finesse and then slides it down the right side for Mbappe. He takes on Ake, creates some space. Vinicius is short. Vinicius gets the shot away, but it's blocked by Diaz. Brilliant defensive work by the Portuguese to deny a fourth Real Madrid goal.
Well, Jude Bellingham just played a cross-field pass as if he had the aid of satellite tracking. I don't know how he did it. He just landed it perfectly on the far side, and you just see the quality oozing out of these players. I mean, they have been... City are finding it tough, but Real have been outstanding.
On the basis of this and the first leg performance, why are they even playing at this stage of the competition? Surely they should already be in the draw.
I think it has taken them a while to get going. I think it has taken a while for all of these attacking players to gel as a unit, to understand what they do without the ball. I think the balance of the team was maybe a little awry in the opening weeks of the campaign. The other part of it as well is that the league phase is tough. We've seen that. They've had some really tough games in the league phase. But what do Real Madrid always do? Build momentum towards the back end of the Champions League.
Quick goal update. Paris Saint-Germain have scored a fifth of the night, so they're 8-0 up on aggregate against Brest, and it is Nuno Mendes, the left-back, who scored his second Champions League goal of the season. Paris 5, Brest 0, 8-0 on aggregate. By the way, Juve are joining them in the round of 16 right now because it's 1-1 in Eindhoven. I don't think we've done the full service to that brilliant goal from Timothy Weah. The reason the goal was disallowed because of offside in the build-up. Across from a free kick, they thought there was a Juve player offside, but he wasn't involved in the play. Broke to Weah on the edge of the box, hit it so cleanly, low, 20 metres out, flew into the net, goal overturned. Right decision given. PSV 1, Juve 1, 3-2 on aggregate, Kev.
I think his father George would be quite happy with that.
He would have
goal.
liked that one, yeah. He might have tried to dribble all the way through the team.
Yeah, that's true.
But Timothy just leathered it.
Have to hand it to Timothy Weah. He's been willing to play every position. He's even said, I'm playing goal if they ask me to. And he's really played in service of the team. And it's taken him a while to get going at Juve, but he's very much done that now.
Yep, so PSV 1, Juve 1, 3-2 on aggregate to the Bianconeri.
Well, since you started speaking, Rob, Real Madrid have had the ball the entire time. And they still have it now on the left edge of the penalty area with Rodrigo. Left-footed, right-footed into the box. Across comes Nico to deny and stop his progress. And now City, who struggle to spring any kind of counter-attacks in this game because of the personnel that they're lacking and the way in which Real Madrid have played. And again, the ball has been won back inside the City half by Dani Ceballos. That midfield of Real Madrid has been exceptional, as has Mbappe, who's on the ball now. All three goals credited to him. There's a French collection of goals in Paris. There's a Frenchman with a collection of goals here in Madrid as Vinicius Junior fires one high and wide of goal. A wry smile from the Brazilian. Do you want another stat, Kev? I promise.
Yes, please.
I promise this one is
absolutely
not pointless like the other one.
It wasn't pointless.
Prior to this game, Real Madrid have progressed in 37 of the 39 ties where they've won away from home in the first leg.
And they've used that lead perfectly tonight, actually, because the game's been on their terms from the get-go.
And they've been given the ball in the Man City right-back position. Vinicius in the area, curls it towards the far corner. Ederson read it well, but City orchestrating their own problems there. And Real Madrid still have it on the right side of the penalty area. Gundogan doesn't have anywhere to turn to go back, so he has to wait and then drops one into midfield for Foden. Good touch off the head of the England international, and now Marmoush to the near side for Bernardo Silva. But it's just so hard to see an outlet beyond the halfway line for Manchester City.
Yeah, and they're understandably struggling for rhythm, struggling for confidence, and that's hard against any team. But when you're up against a Real Madrid team in this sort of mood, it's difficult to find those combinations.
The only change made by Pep Guardiola
Easy views.
He's only been around for I don't know how many years. Was that of Ake coming on for Stones, who was injured. He's not made a tactical substitution yet, as Bernardo Silva holds the ball up on the corner of the penalty area, the near corner away to our right. 16 minutes of normal time left. Steered into the box by Foden, flicked off the head of Valverde for a Manchester City corner over on the far side.
I mean, the truth is, this is where a coach learns probably more about his players than he would in a victory, because you're looking at who's got the body language to keep going, who's still trying to affect the game, still trying to make things happen, who wants the ball. And these are all the things that Pep Guardiola's got used to maybe a bit more this season.
City have it in the area. Mamouche can't go very far, and Foden has to play it all the way back to the halfway line to Ruben Dias. Forward to his Portuguese compatriot, Bernardo Silva. It's quite a slow pace on this near side from City, because Real Madrid is so deep and so compact. Gundogan back out to the right side, near side as we look, with Kusanov, and now Bernardo Silva hugging the touchline. Back to Kusanov again, into Foden. A long way out, but it's a well-struck shot from Phil Foden. It's City's first shot on target in this game, and it was arrowed towards goal, but it was straight at the goalkeeper.
And why not go for goal? You know, that's the kind of positive moment they've lacked at times in this game, and Foden there just trusted his technique, trusted his quality, and gave Courtois a bit of a test.
Forward comes Foden again into the area. Savinho blocked again by Asensio, who's been superb all night, and away by Real Madrid down this near side, their left, with Bellingham. And then Ceballos steps in. Bernardo Silva is not happy. The referee didn't give a free kick. Ceballos went tumbling over, and then Bernardo Silva felt that Ceballos made a meal of it. Here is Bernardo Silva's left foot shot, and that one just curls over the crossbar and into the fans behind the goal. Ceballos is still down. Real Madrid lead 3-0. They're going through to the round of 16.
Paris Saint-Germain is 6-0 up now. Goal from Gonzalo Ramos. But the big story right now is in Eindhoven. A goal check, because PSV think they have the lead again. 2-1 reads the scoreline. 3-3 it says on aggregate, because Ismail Saibari was there to turn him from close range. Referee telling players to step away from him. Juve players in yellow, PSV players in red and white. We can see goal check on the big screens around the PSV Stadion right now. The goal, Ivan Perisic drifting out to the right side. It's been so influential. He got the first goal, and the goal, it looks like it stands. His low, crisp shot, low, crisp cross ran to Luke de Jong. It bobbled off de Jong into Saibari's path, and he just thumps it into the net. Meanwhile, Brest have pulled one back. It looks like perhaps there's the flag gone up there. No, it looks like it's still 6-0, but regardless, what a story now in Eindhoven. We'll bring you full match commentary of that, don't worry, if it goes to extra time. PSV 2, Juve 1, 3-3 on aggregate.
Well, it's 3-0 on the night, 6-2 on aggregate to Real Madrid, who are going to make a double substitution. Dani Ceballos is coming off to be replaced by Eduardo Camavinga. And the other change is going to see the, I wouldn't say hero of the night, but the star of the night, Kylian Mbappe, with a hat-trick, to be replaced by Brahim Diaz, who scored in the first leg. Mbappe's work is done.
It's good management, that, as well. Make sure he gets his ovation. He's been outstanding. I mean, the quality of finishing, so high. You know, the first goal lifted it over Ederson beautifully. The second goal, he had a lot to do, actually. He had to come inside the challenge of Gvardiol, thump it home, and then the third is classic Mbappe, a little trick on the edge of the area, then drilled it into the far corner.
City have also made 2 substitutions. They brought on Mateo Kovacic, the former Real Madrid midfielder, and James McAtee. And with 11.5 minutes left of the game, they have possession inside the Real Madrid half. But as ever, Real Madrid have everybody behind the ball. Apart from a couple of long-range efforts, no real sign that City would get any kind of consolation from this game, let alone take it to extra time. Real Madrid are heading towards the round of 16 and the draw on Friday, where they will play either Atletico de Madrid or Bayer Leverkusen. City will have to lick their wounds and get prepared for a game at home to the Premier League's leaders, Liverpool, at the weekend.
If you want any further evidence of how exciting these format changes have been, look at that section of the draw. You've got Bayern in it, Real Madrid in it, Leverkusen in it, and Atletico in it. I mean, that is incredible, isn't it, really? Could have Bayern up against Leverkusen, could have a Madrid derby. So many different combinations. It's going to be great fun.
Kovacic, who was at Real Madrid when they got to 3 UEFA Champions League finals, but he didn't play in any of them. He was injured for 1, and then he didn't get off the bench in the other 2. McAtee on the right for Manchester City, back down the line for Nico. Real Madrid quite content just to allow City to play the ball as long as they're not allowing them too many opportunities, and again it has to be a long-range shot, this time from Kovacic.
But I think if we'd seen that a bit more early on, just trying to affect Real Madrid a bit more, just with a little darting run or a shot from range. But I think what Real have done really well in this contest, they've just drawn the sting out of City, drawn the belief out of them, and made it so difficult for them to progress the ball. And it's about using this as a lesson, I think, for Pep Guardiola. Still a lot going on for City in terms of the domestic season. They've got to try and qualify for this tournament for next season. There's still work to be done, because that's going to be an almighty scrap for those top 4 or maybe top 5 places in the Premier League. There is no guarantee that they'll make that top 5. So they need to take this as a lesson. But for Real, they'll see this as a statement, a very loud statement to the rest of the teams in this competition.
Very much back, Real Madrid, the most successful club in this competition's history. Bernardo Silva on the halfway line. They lead 3-0 Real Madrid, 6-2 is the aggregate scoreline, 9 minutes of normal time left. And it's with Ruben Dias on this near side. That 4th-minute goal by Kylian Mbappe set the tone, and effectively the second goal put Real Madrid in total control of the tie.
I think what's been really instructive, Mike, is if you look at the performance of Ceballos, for example, it just looked as though they were going to lose it there, City, on the edge of their own area. But you look at Ceballos, this has been his chance to really shine, and he's absolutely seized it, alongside Tchouaméni tonight. You've had Asensio come in, you know, promising young player, but no track record at this level, but he's come in and done brilliantly. That will really hearten Carlo Ancelotti, because they've had Alaba out long term, Dani Carvajal's been out long term, Lucas Vazquez has been injured recently, and these guys have really stepped up, and Tchouaméni going off the pitch deserves this standing ovation. And if he can start to play in midfield as that screen in front of the back 4, it's going to be really beneficial for Real Madrid.
Tchouaméni is replaced by 39-year-old Luka Modric, evergreen. The only player, actually, now he's stepped onto the pitch, that also featured in the first ever Champions League game between these two teams in 2012, 13 years ago. Modric played then, and he's playing now.
And you know the scary thing, Mike? He's still nowhere near as old as us. How terrifying.
Thank you for that, Kevin. 7 minutes of normal time remaining.
You started it with that Raul stuff in the first half.
Oh, I did.
It's merely my delayed revenge.
City have it inside their own half now. I think a consolation is all they can really hope for in the closing minutes. Pep Guardiola still inside his technical area, buzzing around like he always does, but he'll know in his heart that he has to look ahead to next Sunday and focus on domestic football for the remainder of this season. But as Kevin points out, they've got to finish in the Champions League places. They might be helped out by the fact there might be an extra place this season. They're currently 4th, 17 points off the leaders Liverpool, who they play at the weekend. Kovacic forward to Marmoush. Guardiola almost falls as he slips, can't find the pass out to Savinho, and then is unable to take it off the toes of Valverde before Camavinga is brought down by McAtee, who then kicks the ball away, but seems to have got away with it.
It was a little silly, that, truth be told. I think if you look at this game more globally, Mike, I think you look at how early the first goal came, and you look at the fact that not only did they concede the goal, they lost John Stones. That's the kind of thing that's happening to City at the moment. But the timing of that first goal was really tough for City to bounce back from.
Real Madrid coming forward in the deep. Bellingham, lovely touch to bring it down, and then It's a soft finish in the end from Rodrigo, who almost passes it to Ederson in the Manchester City goal, but the build-up was superb.
Bernardo Silva does well there because he closes Rodrigo down. I think Rodrigo, if he had his time again, would probably actually just touch it inside the challenge, let Bernardo Silva go past him, and then he's opened up the whole goal. But it was brilliant work from Bellingham in the build-up.
Manchester City coming forward now, down the near side there right with Bernardo Silva. Infield to Nico. Midway inside the Real Madrid half, Kovacic out to the left now. City trying to create something, trying to work the ball through Real Madrid. That's all they can do, really. It's so narrow and so compact. Out wide again with Mamouche. It's Kovacic who's got the ball now. Played back to him from the edge of the area. City, it's almost like a stalemate from a City point of view. They just don't seem to be able to go any further. It's like a roadblock in the way, and it's in all white. Kovacic switches out to the left again, on the edge of the penalty area. Driven in by Savinho, almost falls kindly for McAtee, who scored the 4th goal against Newcastle at the weekend. Ball is bouncing around, ricocheting around inside the Real Madrid penalty area. Valverde gets it away momentarily. Gvardiol picks it up, and now it's Kovacic again. 3 or 4 meters outside the box on the left. Ake now just inside the area, wondering where he can actually play the ball. There's so many white shirts between the ball and the goal.
Been so disciplined, so well organised. And sometimes, you know, we think of confidence in an attacking sense a lot of the time, but actually, if you're confident and you're happy with the system you're playing, you can do well defensively too.
McAtee drives it down to the dead ball line, and who's there but Luka Modric to put it out for a Manchester City corner. We're moving into the final 3 minutes of this game. Manchester City trailing Real Madrid by 3-0. Madrid leading 6-2 on aggregate and heading for the round of 16. Mamouche with a corner over on the far side, away to our right. Is there a goal in the offing for the away team? They've lost their previous 3 Champions League away games. They're heading for a 4th straight defeat. Mamouche plays it in, headed away by Rudiger, driven back in by McAtee. Here's Kusanov, a tight angle, saved by Courtois. It's another corner.
7-0 to Paris Saint-Germain now, and a goal off the bench for Senin Mayulu. What a victory for them tonight. 10-0 up on aggregate on Brest. It is still, by the way, in Eindhoven. PSV 2, Juve 1, 3-3 on aggregate. About 3 minutes to go of the 90. We're headed for extra time in Eindhoven.
Are we calling Paris going through to the last 16 at this stage?
Let's call it, Kev. Go on then. Let's call it.
Paris are through to the next round. Okay.
And I'll add to that by saying Real Madrid through to the next round.
All the bold calls are coming out now. Look at this.
It's like election night. I love it.
Bernardo Silva with the corner, in swinging towards the back post, headed away by Rudiger. Down goes McAtee, right on the edge of the area, and the referee's come across. It's a head injury. I don't know if it's a free kick that's been given as well. I think it has been given. It's literally centimetres outside the box.
Yeah, Brahim Diaz has thrown his arms out as if to say, no, not me, but that could well, on review, be a penalty because it's very close.
Well, McAtee
he's in the box.
He's standing in the area, but his head is outside the box.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. It's very tight. I mean, it's clumsy from Brahim Diaz. It's not a challenge he really needs to make.
Well, the contact is, I think the contact is just outside, even though McAtee is standing in the box. So
yeah,
it is going to be a free
kick. They are
kick.
going to stick with the free kick, yeah.
So Valverde is doing the draft excluder routine below the Real Madrid wall. Mamouche, right-footed from the edge of the area, curls it in. It strikes the wall, straight into the midriff of Antonio Rudiger. Back in by Mamouche. Modric saves. Rudiger's still down. It's not, I mean, he's winded. He's pretty badly winded. He's taken that right in the chest.
He's a solid character, though. He'll shake this off. But he's been, when you bear in mind he's only just come back from injury, he's barely put a foot out of place. Knowing him, I imagine he was quite disappointed that Haaland wasn't in the City lineup. I think he'd have quite enjoyed that. He thrives on that kind of clash, that kind of challenge. So I imagine he was probably a bit disappointed, but I think think him and Asensio in the heart of that defence have done a really good job tonight.
We're moving into the final minute of the 90. Real Madrid, well, ever since minute 4, really, have been in control, and they can now take off Federico Valverde and Vinicius Junior, and they can bring on in their place Endrick and David Alaba, whose football has been so limited over the last 14 months or so. So it's a big night for him to come back, the experienced Austria international, back on the pitch literally for a few moments as we head towards out of time.
It's not a bad squad, is it really? Bring on David Alaba, one of the most successful defenders we've seen in European football in his generation, and bring on one of the great rising stars of South American football in Endrick.
Real Madrid under pressure on the edge of their own area, but they still get out of trouble through Camavinga. 2 minutes of added time. Real Madrid 3-0 up, 6-2 on aggregate. City, though, threatening here. Marmoush at the D, hauled down by Camavinga. It's another free kick. It's more central, but it's further out.
And that comes from a bit of aggression from McAtee, actually, because he's determined to win that ball. He gets there first, and then is able to get City on the move, and that's what puts Marmoush in a good position, and Camavinga, wrong side of him, ends up dragging him down. But that was the kind of aggression that they haven't quite had at times, City, tonight. And had they had a bit more of that, maybe they could have had more of an impact.
The free kick is around about 25 metres from goal. It's marginally to the right of centre. There's a bit of a discussion going on. I think Savinho fancies this, but so does Marmoush. And it seems to me, going by the body language, that Marmoush is going to take it again. Might be his last chance to get on the score sheet. Right-footed. Oh, it's a really good free kick, which hits the crossbar and is followed up by Nico Gonzalez. Manchester City get their consolation goal, and it's scored by a former Barcelona player. Terrific free kick from Marmoush. It looked as if everybody, possibly Ake, was offside. Mendy went down as the free kick came in. It hit the bar. It landed perfectly for Nico Gonzalez, and it'll be one of the easiest goals he'll ever score. In fact, Mendy was doing the draft excluder routine, so
playing him on.
Yeah,
I think it's Mendy's playing him on. But I've seen Marmoush hit that free kick time and time again this season. He strikes the ball so beautifully. Courtois beaten, and then you have to credit Nico for having the awareness to follow in. But it did seem to me that Mendy was playing Nico on, but they are going to check it. Of course, they check all goals.
Quickly, full time in Paris. They are into the round of 16. It's finished there. Paris Saint-Germain 7, Brest 0, 10-0 on aggregate. An impressive win for Luis Enrique's side.
It's always nice when we get these decisions right on the decision desk, isn't it?
That's very
call them right.
The Champions League decision desk. That's right. By the way, second minute of 7 added minutes in Eindhoven, where it's PSV 2, Juve 1, 3-3 on aggregate. We're going to preview all the coverage of that if it's going to extra time. PSV just breaking into the area, closed down by Juventus defender. Brilliant scenes in the Netherlands tonight.
3-1 at the moment. There's a goal check going on. Nico Gonzalez is waiting to see if he's scored his first Manchester City goal. He'll find out in a moment. The referee is, I think he's confirming that the goal is going to stand. And that is the case. It will be a goal for Manchester City, scored by Nico Gonzalez. And he doesn't look as happy as he might have done if they'd been in a better position. 6-3 on aggregate, 3-1 on the night. We're in the 4th minute of added time. We're only due a couple, so there won't be long left now for Real Madrid to see this out. I guess the most frustrated person will be Thibaut Courtois.
He will not be a happy man, I imagine. But again, you know, if you're looking for crumbs of comfort for City, you know, it shows the ball striking of Marmoush. That's going to serve them very well, I imagine, not just for the rest of this season, but in seasons to come. I think he's going to be a terrific player for them. And they will learn from this. It'll hurt, it'll sting. It's a horrible moment for them, but I'm sure they'll come back. And there are a lot of young players in this squad now, and they'll take a fair bit from it.
Guardiola on the far side, back to Kovacic. City unable to really make any yardage as Real Madrid press them from the front. Rodrigo all the way into the City half as the referee's whistle goes, and Guardiola and Carlo Ancelotti share a hug, the best of footballing friends, two of the most successful coaches in European, if not world football. Bring an end to this contest. Well, it wasn't the contest we were expecting, because Kylian Mbappe put pay to that with a hat-trick. The first goal scored inside 4 minutes, a wonderfully executed lob from a delicious...
you